have a photo. It'll keep my mum happy.
HMS Northumberland is a cutting-edge Royal Navy frigate.
Reg 150. Inbound, height 180 feet.
Where 200 sailors live and work.
Hi Jacob, hello Chloe, this is Daddy speaking.
Heading to the Arctic Circle.
Oh wow, absolutely stunning.
In some of the worst conditions imaginable.
I was getting continually smashed by waves. It was unsafe, frankly.
We've got to get on top of it. Worst cases, things could explode.
Our cameras have been given access to HMS Northumberland's secret 4-month deployment. At a time of unprecedented pressure from the Russian military.
Russian Bear is inbound at Red 160.
It's a big ass aircraft.
I hold one Russian surface vessel at the bearing of 275.
Northumberland must defend the UK from enemies who are visible.
She is a strange-looking ship.
And hidden.
Side by side with submarine guys, we are V close.
If we go to war, quite simply, it's too late.
And the crew must protect each other.
However you're feeling doesn't make you any less of a sailor.
We have COVID on board our ship.
What?
From the perils of life at sea.
Casualty, casualty, casualty!
It's early September, and HMS Northumberland is in port.
Morning, you alright? Morning.
Morning team.
39-year-old Tom Hobbs is the ship's captain.
I've been at sea for most of my career and I love it. How's tricks? This is where I spend most of my time. And people are in and out of here every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes. I don't think I ever dreamed of being a captain. When I was selected, there was a wow. Then I soon realised I was going to be the bloke that everyone else expects to know the answer.
Tom's been in charge of Northumberland for just over a year.
I'm by myself quite a lot of the time. It can be lonely, and yeah, you just have to accept it. I belong to the ship and the ship belongs to me, and that's the way it goes as a captain. I have 3 children, so I have 3 sets of duvets. I've got Paw Patrol, I've got a Sharks, and I have the Stars. My children pick to them, so they know that every week I'll be sleeping under one of their duvets. My kids, they're proud of me, but they also hate the fact that I go away.
Right, did you get the forward gangway open?
It's less than 4 hours until departure.
Is this all counted? Am I just standing here doing nothing? You're counting it, Roger. Happy.
28-year-old Megan Burgoyne has been waiting for the last of the food supplies to arrive.
The stores arrived a little bit later than we had hoped. We'll get all available working hands to come down to move the stores from the jetty onto the ship. I'm so excited, I want to get in amongst the action.
Coming on board today are 10,000 sausages, half a ton of salad leaves, 66,000 tea bags, and enough baked beans to fill 50 bathtubs.
Spinach.
How much have you ordered, mate? Is this a wind-up? Spinach has got about a shelf life of an hour.
We're limited by our space, so there's no quicker or more efficient way to do this than physically just manhandle it into the fridges. How are we getting on?
As the Deputy Logistics Officer, Megan helps run a team of 40 people, responsible for keeping the ship and the crew fully supplied.
Is it all in?
Put it all on, yeah.
Okay. Go for a lot of milk. I could go for about 80 litres a day. I did okay at school. I wasn't particularly brilliant. I was very shy. The idea of going to sea was always a bit exciting. Do we do white cabbage?
Yeah, that's that.
Sorry, I'm hearing things, sorry. I'm not from a naval background, so nothing prepared me for what the Navy was going to be. There's a spinach that we didn't want. definitely exciting.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
I think this is my mess.
20-year-old Sahil James is a brand new recruit.
I'm guessing this is my bed. It's told middle bunk.
HMS Northumberland is the first warship he's ever called home.
Honestly, I was not expecting it to be big, but I was not expecting it to be this small. I'm gonna have to make it work. I just hope I don't fall out. I'm gonna try. It's pretty cozy, isn't it? Perfect fit. I'm a bit excited. I am from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I grew up in a, I would say, small, tranquil village.
Sahil only passed basic training a few weeks ago. This will be his first taste of life at sea.
I'm nervous because I don't know what to expect. I'm physically prepared, but I don't think I'm quite mentally prepared because I've never been on a ship, so it's all new to me. At the end of the day, you're in the military, so anything could happen.
With just a few minutes until departure, the crew have been told to gather for an important mission briefing from the captain.
The main reason I've got you all together now is what are we about to go and do? So we're about to go to the North Sea and we're going to be faced with the Russians. We don't decide when the Russians deploy, we don't get to decide what route they're doing, we don't get to decide the weather in which they do it in, and we will find them.
HMS Northumberland's been given urgent orders to head north in response to a new threat. Spy satellites have just spotted a large number of Russian warships heading towards the UK. It's the latest sign of increased Russian activity in British waters, and the captain has been ordered to intercept them.
We will get one opportunity to get it right. The Russians who are deploying against us are as good as or better than us. I need you to bring your A game. We have a responsibility towards our country to do our job right. There's no one backing us up. One chance, one opportunity, and we need to be at the right place, right time, and we need to seize it. Thank you very much. Cheers, team.
It's really exciting and a bit frightening because you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what to expect, so a bit of a mixed feeling.
Definitely going to be hard work. It's going to be a busy time. We don't know what's coming, but we're ready to go.
Is it the right time? It's meant to be on the right. Okay.
With supplies finally loaded,
I don't think it's going to fit. It's too thick.
HMS Northumberland is ready to cast off.
Clear deck of all personnel to the flight deck. Procedure Alpha.
Right, listen in then. Easy, you just got to stand there. All right? Just put it in. Up.
Excited to get away now. It's just good to finally be on our way.
Bye. The captain has the ship.
Slow ahead, starboard.
I can't believe this is the last time I'm seeing land for a while.
Steer 155.
That's our sailed. we can start to get really focused into what we're going to be doing.
The mission to the North Sea comes at a time of unstable relations with Russia.
There are Russian ships off the UK. If, God forbid, things were to go warlike, the Royal Navy is ready to respond to that.
Russia's intentions are unclear, but their warships are advancing. It's Northumberland's job to stop them. It's 7 a.m.
The Navy alarm clock has just gone off, which I cannot stand. I will wake up 2 minutes earlier so I don't have to listen to that piercing shriek.
HMS Northumberland is on her way to the North Sea, where Russian warships have been spotted heading towards British waters.
Ah, CS James. That was handy. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do this.
Sahil
is being given a tour of his new home.
How's your day been?
My day was alright. Was settling alright.
Settling in?
Yeah.
He needs to learn his way around the ship's 8 decks.
Male junior rate showers in there.
Oh.
Well acquainted.
And will be one of 80 men to share these 5 cubicles.
It's not too bad. I can work with this.
So we've just got the laundry down here. As you can see.
Oh, nice.
You'll have your laundry bag. Shove it in there. Little and often is better than accumulating everything.
One laundryman handles over 1,000 items of clothing each day.
Our laundryman is super good, so it'll be turned around in 24 hours.
Oh, nice.
The galley, please, go ahead. It's going to be your home, 24/7. The chefs will give you a pretty intense brief of how everything runs in here for your day-to-day job.
Sahil's never worked in a kitchen before, but he's now one of the ship's 9 chefs, responsible for making over 600 meals a day.
It's a lot bigger than like in RWE, so I reckon it's going to be a bit different.
Different ballpark. Working at sea, just the physical movement.
I don't even know if I'm
4
going to
meals
be
a day.
seasick yet. So.
You don't know if you'll get seasick
No.
yet. There's no shame in it. Everybody gets seasick. There's a lot to take in. He's obviously thinking about his job in the galley. He's thinking about how he's going to cope in his personal time. It's certainly nothing to be scared of because everybody does find their feet.
Everything seems alright. I think I would be able to cope with what I've seen so far. We're going to be in the showers a lot because I like taking showers, so let's hope the water's warm.
Oh dear. Lots of dead sailor skin.
56-year-old Darren Wallington is the oldest on board.
As the ship's sea daddy, my job is to make sure that the ship's a happy ship.
So you've got a few things to do tonight, right? So get somebody to give you a hand, take you with the events, right?
As the executive warrant officer, he's responsible for the welfare and discipline of the sailors.
It's my job to know everybody, and I do.
Looks like somebody's sleeping with a dead animal. That's his bedding.
Love it. I do. It's just a great job.
Right, let's get in.
One of Darren's not so great jobs is sorting through the rubbish.
A mountain of gash.
The crew generate up to a ton of waste a day. Separating the recycling is one of the dirtiest jobs on board.
This is just what's built up. So we'll smash through some. Rocky! Food. Why am I getting food waste?
The unwanted food should be thrown overboard, but not everyone follows the rules.
There's a ton of shite in there. If there's anything that's not food contaminated, he says, should go in there. There you go, it's starting to go now. So, say at the moment, shit.
An alarm has just gone off in an engine compartment.
Who found it? Who found the incident?
I'll tell you in a second. Smoke mission, number 2
It's right next to crucial machinery.
You've got to presume at the worst that it's a fuel fire.
But the fire teams are struggling to get to it.
No foam blanket has been laid yet. Right.
Hurry up, let's get down here now. Let's get up down now. Come on.
They're in.
No fire! No fire!
And within minutes, they've got it under control.
On here you've got high explosives, highly flammable fuels, high voltage electricity, pressurized systems. Add on that 200 sailors, and we've got nowhere to go and nobody to come and rescue us. That's why it's so dangerous.
Right, okay team, just wanted to chat to you about the stuff that we've been asked to do. We've had some intelligence come in. We'll be going to meet HMS Queen Elizabeth.
HMS Northumberland is sailing north to intercept Russian warships heading for the UK. It's become clear their target is the Royal Navy's flagship, aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth, currently stationed off the east coast of Scotland.
Russian boats are working in the vicinity. Unsurprisingly, we don't want the enemies coming near to HMS Queen Elizabeth. We should be prepared to push back against Russian aggression and demonstrate that there's a boundary and there's rules. Our role will be vital, so we need to get there as soon as possible.
The Russians are likely to be trying to gather intelligence on HMS Queen Elizabeth.
Thank you very much. If you have no questions, I'll leave you to it. Cheers. I would never underestimate the Russian Navy. The danger is if you let them collect intelligence, you never know which little piece helps to inflict cost against the UK. So you need to stop them.
Northumberland is still 300 miles away from HMS Queen Elizabeth. She needs to get there before the Russians.
I'm going to learn something new today.
It's Tuesday night in the galley.
Is it just like doing Papadon?
I'll show you. Let the fire get to temperature and start.
It's Sahil's first full shift as a chef, and tonight is leftover night.
Ooh, now that looks like pork belly. What sauce are they putting on it?
Marinade.
The team are preparing 2 types of curry, but as the most junior chef in the galley, Sahil's role is limited to just helping out.
I don't have much experience with cooking. I never really used to cook in the kitchen until I joined the Navy. The most cooking I did would be with my grandmother. Just a little bacon or frying chicken or something like that.
It's just minutes until service. 200 hungry sailors need to be fed in under an hour.
This is when you're starting to rush to get everything out on the counter. Make sure everything looks nice. It is time to open. If the counter is not open on the time, you're gonna have people screaming at you. All this is just mind-blowing for me.
The Navy has been short of chefs and recruited Sahil straight from school in the Caribbean earlier this year.
Ever since I was growing up, people around my village would have family members who are in the Navy, so they would come and say, oh, it's great. And After I keep hearing it all the time, I was like, yeah, why not? Let me just see what it's about. And I get in touch with my culinary skills, if I have any.
Got absolute feast here. Yeah, looks good. Definitely come around again.
Just have to keep on top of everything now. Good stuff.
We've got the QE's course and speed.
Ready, going 0.
HMS Northumberland is just minutes away from rendezvousing with HMS Queen Elizabeth. The Russians are still nowhere to be seen.
How far away is she now? QE is 1.7, sir.
Wow. She's a big ship. It's a big ship.
Northumberland is one of 8 Royal Navy warships who've been asked to protect HMS Queen Elizabeth ahead of the most important naval exercise in over a decade.
Revolutions 90. Check quarters.
As you can imagine, bringing 8 ships around Queen Elizabeth, it's quite a delicate dance. We're going to be 500 yards away on her starboard bow. Added to that, we have got 3.5 to 4 metres worth of swell going on.
Touches to drive in before going back on space course.
Yes, please.
Northumberland must now position herself less than 500 metres from HMS Queen Elizabeth to help build a ring of steel around the carrier. But sailing this close to another warship comes with huge risk.
The very worst thing that happens is I could drive into QE and one of us has a very bad day.
Bearing 293, range 800 yards.
Next course clear visually. Port 25, steer 074.
She's doing 008, so don't go too quick.
Bearing 304.
Here we go.
Warships usually stay at least 2 miles from each other to avoid collisions.
Range. 480 yards.
It's the first time I've come this close to Queen Elizabeth. Well done, team.
Very good.
Northumberland is in position. Joining one of the most powerful naval fleets Britain has ever assembled.
First escort in position. We have brought ourselves into within 500 yards of the carrier. We are where we need to be.
And they're ready for whenever the Russians arrive.
Right, make sure you got your sleeves up, watches off.
Below decks, Iwo Darren has an unexpected surprise for the crew.
Drug testing is now in force on HMS Northumberland. Personnel are advised not to consume excessive amounts of fluids during this time.
They're going to make a flower pot for this.
The entire ship's company are being tested for drugs.
Stand that side so you don't stop people going up. Each person, when they give their sample, have to be escorted by somebody to make sure that they give a clean sample and no funny business goes on. So each person gets escorted by a willy watcher.
12 sailors volunteer to willy watch to ensure the samples aren't tampered with.
He likes the willy watch.
You're next. You're next.
Great Great Guinness, that is, mate.
But producing a sample on demand can take some encouragement.
You can do it. You do a little wee for the Iwo?
I've been doing this for 34 years.
Get out! Get out!
I am that focal point for discipline, and it's a very important cog in making sure the whole machine works.
A long day, Windy. Had a long day.
Oh. Is this the queue?
Even the captain must take the test.
I'm going to wait until I absolutely need to go for a wee. And then, like my son, I'll do a little wee dance. Where are we going? Senior 8's heads. This is not very dignified. Light straw colour, that's what they need, isn't it?
Yeah.
If anyone fails the test, the consequences will be severe.
You can't use junks in the Royal Navy, it's not compatible with service life, and if anyone's got stuff inside them that they shouldn't, they'll be discharged.
The results are due back in 48 hours.
Officer Watch AC, you have 997 ship as door round.
Northumberland has received new military intelligence. The ring of steel around HMS Queen Elizabeth has been spotted by the Russians, and their warships have scattered.
All positions PRO. Revised command aim. Command aim is to support Queen Elizabeth. Speeds up to 28 knots prior to environment subsurface.
Positioned at the front of the fleet, Northumberland's crew has been ordered to alert the other ships to any other threats.
New contact reported.
All positions APSO investigate ongoing 3552, bearing 151 at 14 miles.
The team in the ops room has just picked up a suspicious vessel 14 miles ahead of them.
Suspect 2378. All positions surface investigate.
Give us 2 seconds.
Whoever it is masking their identity from Northumberland's radar.
Unknown, bearing 275, range 10.5 nautical miles. All reports group line 1.
UAT!
You're copying suspect 2378 remains.
It's coming closer.
ESM holds 1 bracket.
All positions PRO, unknown 6762, bearing 276, range 10 nautical miles. Suspect vessel closing for contact of Queen Elizabeth.
And it's on an intercept course with HMS Queen Elizabeth.
No one is to leave the ops room.
HMS Northumberland is at the head of the fleet, guarding the Royal Navy's flagship, HMS Queen Elizabeth.
Unknown 6762, bearing 276, range 10 nautical miles.
In the ops room, Lydia Ato is under pressure to identify a mystery vessel less than 10 minutes ahead of them.
All reports group line 1.
Let's have somebody closed up on the cameras now.
It's hiding its identity from Northumberland's radar. But it's just come into view of the ship's long-range cameras.
I hold 1 Russian surface vessel at the bearing of 275 at 10 nautical miles.
Hands to action stations, hands to action stations.
They've just identified the vessel as Russian.
Bridge, MCO, SEC, ops room acknowledge.
Okay, all positions, contact visual.
She is a strange looking ship. We're looking at a Russian intelligence ship.
The reason the Russians were hiding has become clear. It's the Viktor Leonov, a military spy ship.
The Russian ship will be full of really kind of sensitive listening equipment. Effectively, what it could do is it could hoover up any kind of electronic emission from the ship. Do we want them to find out everything that we can do? No. Do I work quite hard to protect some of my information? Yes, absolutely. How far away is she now?
Like 3 nautical miles.
The Viktor Leonov is getting closer. At just over 3 miles from HMS Queen Elizabeth, Royal Navy secrets are at risk.
I need to do something about the fact that they might be in a position to start hacking our phones or start intercepting what we're saying.
You'll be aware of the presence of a Russian AGI up to the northeast of us, and I've instructed the RPO to go around and make sure that we are collecting in mobile phone SIM cards.
Shutting down communications will cut Northumberland off from the outside world.
Right, lads, SIM cards, please. Thank you. Get them all in, need them in as soon as possible.
Foggy's getting up to do his, leaky, he's here. Cheers, mate.
It's just weird for me because like I've never like experienced anything like this. We're gonna go calm silence.
In 9 months of being in the Navy, Sahil hasn't gone a day without contacting his mum.
This is an old picture of me and my mom. My parents are pretty proud, like they're really, really proud. They always talk about me, like if they go to like dinner or something, they'll be like, oh yeah, my son is in the Navy, yay.
My mom's currently in the hospital. She had a surgery on her back. I'm not there to like take care of her. I can't even message you just to check on her.
Without his phone, he has no way of finding out how his mum's operation went.
It's kind of hard to like work and not knowing that everything is all right.
Captain, can you just pop up the CDT results for him, please? Thanks.
The captain has just received a secure message.
Come on in.
It's been 48 hours since the whole crew were tested for drugs.
The results for CDT are coming, and we have 2 individuals both tested positive for cocaine, so we'll have to go through the process tonight of me informing them, me giving them their initial interview, and then I think my intention is to land them, because I don't want either of them on board.
I'll let the team know. Administrative discharge. Are you happy for the ship's company to know?
We'll need to
tell the individuals first.
Tell the individuals first, and my gut feeling is that everyone will know in about 20 seconds.
They need to know. It's the whole purpose of it.
It is. Deterrent
purpose. The warming.
Cheers, X. Yeah, thank you very much.
The 2 sailors will be taken ashore as soon as possible.
Every year, you have to go to a lecture where you're told that you're not allowed to take drugs in the Royal Navy. How do I feel about it? Frustrated, mainly. Disappointed. You know, they've gone from having a career, possibly for the rest of their life, to looking down the barrel of unemployment.
The guilty sailors are being airlifted back to base, where they'll receive their discharge papers.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Their friends are only just finding out.
You could get away with it.
be a civilian right now.
Yeah. Zero tolerance. Now, it used to be that you could get away with it, but now it's... I've lost about 5 mates for it.
I've lost 2 now, yeah.
You're not getting out of that one.
No.
It's a shame, really. Oh.
Command is lonely enough as it is at the best of times. I mean, I've been doing this for 21 years, but still there are days when you just want to go home.
Several hours into the communications blackout, it's beginning to have an impact on the crew, even the captain.
When I speak to the kids, sometimes they ask me, oh, you know, whose duvet set have you got on today, Daddy? And I tell them whichever one it is. And it just reduces some of the separation anxiety that kids can have when their parents go to sea. Being away has never got easier. I miss my wife and kids. No one made us do this life. But it can ask a lot from you.
Port 35, altering 160. As we come round, keep a good lookout on the AGI.
The Russian spy ship Viktor Leonov is less than 3 miles away from HMS Northumberland.
Just give us an Indivan navigation radar.
In the ops room, the team has just received an update from HMS Queen Elizabeth.
Ship's head reads 102, 11 knots log.
Viktor Leonov is 2.5 miles to the east, Queen Elizabeth 2.5 miles to the west. She's going to start flying operations in about 40-45 minutes. We've been directed to maintain the position between the two to make sure she can't close the QE whilst they start those flying operations and disrupt that.
HMS Queen Elizabeth can't launch her jets if the Russians get any closer. The eyes of the whole fleet are now on Northumberland as she tries to stop them.
Further right, the better, really. Sort of the ideal is 040.
Bridge altering course to starboard.
HMS Northumberland is trying to hold back the Russian spy ship Viktor Leonov so HMS Queen Elizabeth can begin vital flying operations.
ACP way. Course and speed will be 040, speed 10.
Make sure we position ourselves no closer than 2 miles to the Russian, and then close no closer than 1 mile to the Queen Elizabeth.
Operations Officer Lydia Ato is tracking the Russians' every move.
SS altering background to course of 310. That'll put us in between the AGI and Queen Elizabeth.
We're trying to put ourselves in a position to prevent QE becoming vulnerable. As we position ourselves between, by doing that, we form a barrier.
Steer 070.
By sailing between HMS Queen Elizabeth and Viktor Leonov, Northumberland is hoping to keep the Russian spy ship out of range.
QE's just off our starboard quarter at the moment, so I'm just going to turn inside. Half ahead, both engines, revolution 6.5. The AGI is still pointing north. That'll mean AGI will hold off on our port quarter.
Now the Russians are at a safe distance. The coast is clear to launch the jets.
Aircraft visual, red 160, tracking left to right.
I'm turning inbound green at 30, range at 3 miles. Now inbound time on top, 30 seconds.
Launching 2 squadrons of jets for the very first time, this is the Navy's most important exercise in over a decade.
It's success for the ship as a team that we did that. We're doing something that will support the UK. We're actually doing something worthwhile.
The Russians didn't get too close, that she might have been a danger to the jets or a danger to the aircraft carrier. We interposed ourselves and made sure that she didn't get that close. We serve our country as part of a team, and yes, there is responsibility, but that's the way that goes.
Just take a little bit off and then you're right. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's homemade, not short bore. Beautiful.
With the phone ban still in force, it's been nearly 48 hours since Sahil last spoke to his mum.
My mum just went for a surgery and just not knowing what's going on. It's hard, wondering if she's okay. Sometimes when I'm feeling too much in bed, I just feel like, yeah, what am I doing here? I've never like been without my phone for that like this long.
Halfway through his shift, Sahil's been told to report to the EWO's cabin.
Some people have noticed you've gone a bit insular in the mess. When you joined, you were a right smiley guy. Everybody instantly, Jesse, he's all right. And then you just kind of went inside a bit, and that's fine. I'm not saying you can't do that.
I do that sometimes. Like,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
And as long as people know that's your coping mechanism, and if you do feel a little bit weird, don't worry about it. Everybody copes with things in different ways. However you're feeling, doesn't mean you're weak, doesn't mean you're rubbish at your job, doesn't make you any less of a sailor. If you're finding it a little bit hard, have a talk with somebody. I know it's going to be quite hard, this trip, isn't it? It's going to be quite hard.
Really hard.
You all right? All happy with that?
Yes.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
No probs. You know where I am if you need it. I remember my first ship. I really wondered what the hell was going on. I think I did about 38 countries on my first ship. It's difficult. You know, it's just a lot of a serviceman.
I'd call as soon as we get back, our SIM cards, and just like try my best to stay focused and continue doing my job.
Northumberland is shadowing the Victor Leonov off the east coast of Scotland. But the captain's just received news of a new dangerous threat that's about to change their plans.
Good afternoon, Northumberland. Ronnie Officer speaking.
We've been formally activated. Our tasking is to the far north, so you need to make sure that you're prepared and ready.
That is all. Thank you very much.
Northumberland is one of the few ships in the Navy capable of hunting for enemies on the surface and underwater.
Come on in, Ups.
Hi, sir.
So we've had some intelligence come in.
There's a mission in the offing.
And it's quite high stakes. Russian submarines are coming from over here.
So we have been directed to head up north.
Yes, sir.
Their bases are up here in Murmansk, which is the very far north of Russia, and they'll come over somewhere into the North Atlantic this way.
Northumberland's orders are to find the Russian submarines and keep them out of British waters.
Hi, sir. I'll make that so.
HP?
Card, please, sir.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
They must now leave HMS Queen Elizabeth and the other British ships behind.
Steering at 235, speed 8, max possible 28. In CBRDC state 3, condition X-ray.
They're trying to assert ownership over the ocean. And like any schoolyard bully, if you don't stop them, they'll take and take and take.
So let us go north.
Finding the Russian submarines is now top priority.
We find ourselves where the threat against the UK is probably the highest ever. So we need to make sure that we can defend our homeland.
HMS Northumberland is at sea on a 4-month deployment. 10 miles off the coast of Scotland, Captain Tom Hobbs is expecting new orders.
Morning.
This morning, as he starts his daily rounds,
Jimmy, you alright? How's you?
he's waiting for intelligence on a Russian submarine that's currently under surveillance.
Oh, lieutenant.
Hi, sir.
How you doing? I work quite hard to get around and know people, and without my people, this is just a hunk of metal and plastic. I can't command and lead people unless I know them. So I spend a lot of my time wandering around the ship, just shooting the breeze.
One of the final stops on his tour is the warfare team in the ops room.
This room is what makes a warship a warship.
Send to investigate.
He's there in 268.
The op room acts as a conduit and a bringing together of information to allow me to make a decision. It's a demanding job. It is high pressure and high stress. When you're the person making the decision, everyone looks at you. And I love it.
A few minutes later,
That is great intel.
Navy Command sends initial details about the submarine that's under surveillance.
SS-class Russian submarine. Main purpose is anti-submarine warfare and then trying to wreak havoc.
This class of submarine is one of the largest ever built, and one of Russia's most dangerous and secretive. The crew will need their wits about them.
Hey, X-ray Juliet, Roger out.
As they wait for their orders, up on deck,
Do you know where I'm supposed to put my stuff? Or are you just leaving our stuff here?
Northumberland's newest recruit is arriving.
Quite nervous. Glad that I'm here, though. Sorry, I've never been on board a 23 before.
21-year-old Olivia Titmus is a trainee officer. This is her first experience of being at sea.
Hey, it's nice to meet you. It's nice to be on board. It's nerve-wracking, obviously, because it's my first time on board a ship, which is still a lot to take in, I suppose. My dad's ex-Navy, served in Iraq, Afghanistan, so kind of had that kind of connection already. Really excited to be on board. Terrified, I suppose, a little bit, just because I've got to learn a huge amount in a really short period of time. Close the door. Once I've unpacked, this is my home now. My new room. Yeah, there are definitely positives to being female and being in the Royal Navy, because there's less of you.
Some of the men on Northumberland share a cabin with up to 17 others, but Olivia gets to share her room with just 2 women.
I'm going to take this one, because I don't think I'll be able to get in there very easily. I'm not the biggest, so. Long story short, this is James the penguin, and basically last Christmas my boyfriend's mum made 2 penguins, and my boyfriend has Olivia the penguin and I have James the penguin, which is really sad but also really cute. And so it's quite nice because when we're away it's kind of like having each other, I suppose. Might as well make it a bit nicer. Look at that, much more like home. Isn't it so cute?
The captain has received an update on the Russian submarine.
Is everyone here?
And he's gathered his senior officers.
Russian submarine is enough of a threat that we have to take it seriously. So we have been directed to head up north, probably north of the Arctic Circle. The Russians are in a location that I wouldn't want them to be. So we have to deal with her. She has now become the priority target.
The new intelligence suggests the Russians are heading towards sensitive waters in the Arctic. Downing Street has been notified and has ordered Northumberland to head north immediately.
Good afternoon, Northumberland. Commanding Officer speaking. So I want to take a couple of minutes just to say
a little bit on what we're doing next. Our tasking is to the far north, probably north of the Arctic Circle. It will be cold, likely it will be rough for quite a sustained period. When we head up north, we need to be on our A game.
So you need to make sure that you're prepared and ready.
That is all. Thank you very much.
The Russian submarine is currently ahead of Northumberland, but if the captain doesn't get his ship to the Arctic first, vital British interest there could be under threat. HMS Northumberland is heading north to the Arctic in pursuit of a Russian submarine. It's a clear sign of the growing tensions between the UK and Russia in the region.
Britain's most senior military officer has warned of a threat posed by Russia.
There's a new risk to our way of life, which is the vulnerability of the cables that crisscross the seabeds.
Captain, can you just pop up? Thanks.
Thousands of top-secret cables carrying nearly all of the UK's phone lines and internet lie on the seabed. Some of the most important go via the Arctic Circle. It's feared Russia's mission is to damage or hack into them.
Come on in.
And Northumberland has been ordered to stop them.
It's likely heading towards UK-sensitive waters. There is a realistic probability it is conducting operations.
The Prime Minister's talked about the Russian threat to those cables. And if the submarine took out our cables, I guarantee everyone in this country would notice the impact. We wouldn't have internet for weeks. So Russia will take care of the UK, not by lobbing nuclear missiles into us. They take care of us by disconnecting us from the rest of the world. And so that can't happen, and we have to react. We need to protect our cables in the same ways that we used to protect ships going across the oceans.
The Russians are ahead of Northumberland and expected to be in the Arctic and in range of the cables in the next 48 hours. But they're slower than Northumberland. If the captain makes good time, he might be able to overtake them.
It's going to be incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. The Russian submarine has the upper hand.
I hate making beds. It's my least favourite job. But it has to be done.
Today is trainee officer Olivia's first full day on the ship.
Oh, thank you. It's a bit like a baptism by fire, I suppose. First time properly on board a ship.
How are you feeling joining?
A bit overwhelmed. My first night on board, it was nerve-wracking because the pipes in the cabin had made the most horrendous noise. Honestly, I thought the ship was about to sink.
Give it a couple of days, you'll be fine.
Yeah. And then it was very cold. They're not warm ships, so yeah, that's not fun. I don't know what's going on.
Her first job is to learn her way around the ship's 9 decks.
I'm just wandering around aimlessly. I'm sorry. I don't know where I'm going. Thank you. I haven't learnt names yet. I'm learning faces. I'm more of a face person than a name person. Kind of. Hello.
You've been down here before?
No, I haven't, no.
Although Olivia is the least experienced member of the crew,
Got a sonar 2050 there.
Okay, what does that do?
as a trainee officer, she's one of the most senior.
Joining as an officer, I think you're in a really privileged position of having that responsibility for other people. Hello. Hello. Weird suddenly having people call you mom. You know, having been in the Navy for more than I've been alive.
Even though it's her first day, Olivia has her sights set on a long career in the Navy.
It'd be nice to get to commander maybe, but I'm not going to say that that's where I'm going. But it's something that I'd like to at least explore. Just need to kind of know as much as possible, as quickly as possible. Thank you very much.
No problem, right?
Thank you.
Northumberland is only a few hours into the journey towards the sea cables, but she's just had news. A serious storm is on the way.
You have a few hours now to secure absolutely everything. That is all.
The crew need to batten down the hatches.
Hello.
Tim Langford has to make sure it happens.
Just had a look at the map. We've had an update, and actually we're going to be going into winds looking 40 to 50 knots.
Let's get the team out. Make sure that everything's battened down. I'll make my way around the ship and make sure that we're secure for sea.
Team, it's going to get rough, really rough. If it moves, just tie it down.
The crew have to fully prepare the ship.
We're getting into bad weather, so securing for sea rounds is really important. Make sure that we don't shake ourselves apart.
Are you secure for sea state 7?
Negative, sir.
Come on, team. You can be so much better than this. Ooh. So 2 deck, not bad. The mess deck's my life. You secure in here. Go and secure the mess 4C. You join the Navy to do stuff. It is shit.
We can't afford for stuff to get damaged. More than anything, we can't afford for people to get damaged. All it takes is one big wave.
Up on deck, the waves are beginning to swell.
The range is 450 yards.
But bad weather isn't the only problem. To get to the Arctic cables and back, Northumberland needs a full tank of fuel.
Okay, guys, once you've had your kit checked, if you fall into your position.
Refueling at sea from a tanker, known as a RAS, is extremely dangerous, even at the best of times.
Hey, Sergeant, I am making my approach.
A bit nervous because of the weather conditions. It is quite rough for us to be razzing today. Certainly the roughest I've ever razzed in.
There's a healthy amount of respect you've got to have for the situation, because you can't joke around with this. If you get it wrong, it'll go very wrong very quickly. If you fall into the water, we're genuinely looking at not being able to rescue you simply because you won't survive long enough. This is going to be horrible.
Northumberland must sail within 25 metres of the tanker, but rough seas make a collision more likely.
Be careful. All ready down there? Right, Russ.
The fuel nozzle must be pulled across before pumping can begin.
Whoa, keep it going!
And high winds are making it difficult.
Step on the line, get it sorted!
We've been slamming into a lot of waves very hard, but we're dealing it as best we can.
Step off!
There she goes. Quick.
Roger, receiving fuel, confirmed in the
With the fuel nozzle locked in, refueling can begin. But there's less than an hour before the worst of the storm is due to hit.
Confirmed ship's head reads 102, 5 a port wheel on, 11 knots log.
Below decks, Northumberland's leading submarine hunter Lee Ellis, known to everyone as Taz, has summoned his warfare team.
Hi guys, I've got Taz with me.
Right guys, give you a quick update.
Most of Taz's team are brand new and have never dealt with a Russian submarine before.
Right guys, so the situation so far. Up to the north, we've got this submarine heading up in UK sensitive waters without going into the depths too much. The admirals back in London are discussing this round the clock, 24/7. Really important that we do with it.
The Russians are attacking critical national infrastructure. Having the ability to affect our communication systems, for me, it is a new form of warfare. To do nothing is not an option. Strategically, we are reacting.
New ones will have a clue what to expect. You've just got to roll with the punches, I guess. Take it as it comes.
So we'll just make sure that they're not doing anything that shouldn't be.
It'll be tough because it won't be like training, it'll be for real.
That's it, let's make it happen.
The increasingly rough seas are starting to affect the crew.
No, so I need to find out where the sick bay.
Including Olivia.
Okay, all right, thank you. outside sick bay, get seasickness tablets. There'll probably be like a few people that want them, I reckon. Hello.
Hello.
You look really busy, but seasickness tablets.
Which one do you normally take?
I've never taken them. I've not been away at sea. Sorry, I can't do anything more. I just need to lie here.
Bertie, stay where you are!
Back on deck, the crew are trying to finish refueling.
As soon as you can get your hands on it, get your hands on it! Grab it by hand! Watch your feet! Watch where your feet are! Quite a tough raz. Go for it! It's all sorted now. Well done, team!
Northumberland's tanks are now at maximum capacity,
Right, we're done. Happy days.
and the race to the sea cables can resume.
Got the fill we needed. That's complete now. Straight line removed! Straight line removed!
They've now got enough fuel for the journey, but the weather is getting worse.
Here it comes. That is massive. That is huge.
To make it to the cables before the Russians, Northumberland must keep her speed up. But the faster they go, the harder the waves hit the ship.
I don't think you'd get many sailors if it was always like this. Here we go.
The power of it, it's incredible, isn't it? Just destroy everything in its path if it wants to.
Gosh, look at that.
That's about 10 metres there.
Ah, that's a big one. That is huge.
To the left, to the left, to the left. To the left, to the left, to the left. To the left, to the left, to the left.
Minutes into the storm, the ship is taking on water.
To the left, to the left.
Well, where's it coming in from then?
Every time we hit a wave, sir, we're up against it.
Lieutenant Commander Marcus Adcock needs to get on top of it.
We won't stop it from coming in, so it's about getting out.
If you're taking on water, the 200 people here, that's quite a dangerous place to be.
You want buckets? I want people up here more than a chain.
As each giant wave hits, the flood levels below decks are rising.
We start getting some more lads. Get some more buckets, 3 buckets.
More buckets up, please, guys. Cheers, dickhead. If you didn't know the upper deck was out of bounds.
The floodwater is collecting under Northumberland's main gun at the front of the ship.
Explosives, ammunition, seawater, they don't mix. The harsh reality is we've got to get on top of it. Worst cases, things could explode.
If water gets into the electrics, one short circuit could cause a spark, detonating the nearby ammunition and blowing a hole in the ship.
Buckets coming down.
HMS Northumberland is still taking on water.
How do we keep on top of it?
There's only one surefire way to reduce the impact of the storm and stop the flood.
I'll go and have a chat with the captain and the bridge team and see if we can just reduce speed by a couple of knots.
And that's if the ship slows down.
Hi, sir. Would reducing speed or doing anything help? I don't know, we're doing 12 knots. We should half that.
It's going to cost them time.
Oh, sorry, that's fine.
But it's the only way to keep the ship safe.
It's been an eventful morning.
As the ship slows down, the crew begin the clear-up.
Opened the fridge and literally everything was just in the middle, like in a massive congealed pile.
Did the mushrooms get squashed?
A few of them did, but I managed to save a lot of them, so it's not too bad. But it's just a pain getting it all cleaned up.
The last thing you want after the ship has essentially turned itself upside down inside, despite our best efforts to secure it for C-87, to have to redo. Yesterday you cleaned everything.
Wasted my time.
Never wasted. Think positively. Oh, good times.
Finally, the storm begins to subside.
Helm, how's he looking up there?
He's looking rather dry.
And Marcus and his team can relax.
Oh, joy.
This should all go in your citation.
Do you know, I was just thinking about MBEs, actually.
Now they can get a proper look at the main gun.
Weather's now a lot calmer, so effectively all we're going to do now is go and have a look at the front. Oh yeah, look at that. Daylight.
Oh, it looks like someone's took a shotgun to it.
The rubber seal around the barrel has been ripped apart by the weather.
Taking some punishment though, isn't it?
Yes, it has, really has this time.
High seas, lots of water into a small area has just caused a massive overpressure, and it's just effectively sort of imploded.
The gun, crucial for defending the ship, is now out of action and must be made safe.
I guess it will just protect it, just stopping the elements getting in, so. Right, get yourself back in there.
Northumberland is finally back up to full speed, but with a full day sailing to reach the Arctic, they need to make good time if they're going to catch up with the Russians. Today, there's some welcome news for the crew. A special delivery has just arrived.
Come on, JC, hurry up.
I always get mail. My wife's really good at it. She always sends me things that I need.
And the person that gets more mail than anyone is Taz.
My daughter and my son draw about 10 pictures every single day, and then just love to send them to me. And my wife's got to constantly post it, and if she doesn't post it, my kids get quite upset.
Taz won't see his children for over 4 months.
Hi Jacob, hello Chloe, this is Daddy speaking.
So he sends bedtime stories home to them.
Once upon a time, there was a deep, dark forest where monstrous trees groaned.
I've left behind my wife. I've missed yet another anniversary. They're 6 years old, my twins, and I've had 2 solid Christmas periods with them. So yeah, I leave quite a lot behind.
So Charlie picked his best sword, packed some sandwiches, a big bottle of water.
You can't mentally prepare for it, you just do it. You just accept it's your turn to go away, and you have to deal with it as best as you can. I miss you very much. Very nice, very sweet. My kids don't understand what I'm doing, why it's important, and why their friends' dads go home every night and I don't. And they're not quite getting it. They keep asking when I'm coming home and why I'm not coming home.
Northumberland has reached the northern edge of the Atlantic Ocean.
I'm losing my Arctic virginity today.
As am I.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning, but the bridge is in total darkness.
6633, magic number. We're almost there.
They've arrived in the Arctic Circle.
My first time. Here we are, submarines.
Anyone wishing to view the Northern Lights are welcome on the bridge races.
With the sun still far from rising, the crew get their first glimpse of a spectacular display.
Oh wow. Amazing. Absolutely stunning. Amazing. That's what we need.
Being in the Navy allows you to go places that people might not normally be able to do. And not a lot of people get to go to the Arctic Circle. Even fewer get to see the Northern Lights.
Just incredible. Just incredible. I've never seen so many stars in my life.
This is the great part of being in the Navy. Given people the opportunity, I doubt they will ever forget.
Sunrise is around in an hour, so the sun is rising, but it's not actually risen yet.
This is the furthest from home Olivia has ever been.
The Northern Lights was absolutely amazing. Thinking about how much money people pay for those kind of experiences, and I was there getting paid to be there. Boyfriend's very jealous that I saw them. I think we've got about an hour and a half of sunlight today, with the sun setting around 12:40, which is crazy.
The captain's honouring a special naval tradition for all first-timers like Olivia.
Have you been to the Arctic before?
No.
Come here. You haven't. Crossing the Arctic Circle is known as getting a blue nose, obviously due to the temperature. So I'm just abusing my junior officers with a blue highlighter. The flight commander going to shout at me now. Got blue nose.
Let's have a photo. It'll keep my mum happy.
Oh dear. It's good times.
Hiya, you right?
Now inside the Arctic Circle, the crew must start preparing to protect the sea cables Britain relies upon.
We're off to find the Russians. Everyone's getting ready because we're apparently making a lot of noise. That's what I've heard.
As Olivia is learning, the ship must be made as quiet as possible to have the best chance of hearing the Russian sub.
So what we're going to do now is spin around all the mess decks, all the communal areas, with special attention on noise. All right, let's go. Okay, that's what we're interested in when we're doing the anti-submarine stuff. It's the noise, just a little bit tighter on them, all right?
Really excited to be part of submarine warfare personnel, even not really having a huge amount of a role, massively important for my training. It's a great ship, I love it. Everyone wants to help and they want to help me learn.
Things like this is an important one, right? So they just take that down, it just stops it banging around. Anything you can spot? Spot on. You might think, well, what difference is that going to make? But if there's 5, 6, 7, 8 of them around the ship, okay, all those little things banging along all gets transmitted through the hull. Make sure everything's secure.
Ships give off a huge amount of sound, and as a Type 23, Northumberland's purpose is to do submarine hunting. So it's good to go round and actually see how people prevent noise, as it's important, you know, when hunting Russian submarines.
Happy with that? Yeah, so it was just tiny little bits, wasn't it? Overall, bloody good effort.
Yeah.
Cool.
After 2 days of sailing, HMS Northumberland has almost reached her destination. The next phase of the mission is to locate the Russian submarine and establish what threat it poses to Britain's communication cables.
The challenges facing us over this period is we could fail to track it. She could then turn around and go back into the thing. Hang on, I've just been called by the PMO.
The closest point now, 18 miles.
So it begins.
With news that the cables are now less than 20 miles away, the team in the ops room are about to begin their first ever hunt for a Russian submarine.
You know what we're doing? Draw a deep breath. Be sensible. Be confident and proud of what you can do to deal with Russians. Let's do it.
Off to the watch, P-Will. Stream the sonar.
Taz is leading the search, using Northumberland's state-of-the-art sonar, which can pick up sounds from hundreds of miles away.
I'm really keen to track the Russian submarine. But first we've got to get it on the sonar. Submarines are difficult to track. You know, they tactically, scientifically already have the advantage by the fact they're under the water. So they can wreak havoc. Yeah, they have the upper hand to start with. Roger, thanks.
Every sound the sonar detects is being fed through to screens in the ops room.
CPSO investigate unknown 3552, bearing 151 at 40 nautical miles.
Oswatch P-Will. Come left 200.
For some of the guys in there, this is the first time they've tracked a live submarine, so you can just see the enthusiasm. 1, decimal 1.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, I know. I just saw that myself.
The sonar team have just picked up a strange sound in the distance.
It's not what we're looking for.
It's a false alarm.
It's that frequency shift.
They've picked up something else.
Hang on, that looks like one to me. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
A suspicious noise is coming from somewhere nearby.
94111. New contact.
Confirm contact bearing 144.
Well, that's your contact there, and it's not there.
Continue east-southeast.
It's making a lot of noise, which indicates generally that it's quite close to us.
Access the air time 20.
00552 west.
Increase to 12 knots.
The sonar team need to make a call. It's coming directly towards Northumberland and the sea cables.
Course of 113, speed 10 knots.
10 out course 065.
It's the Russians.
Side by side, we're submarine guys.
Well, team focus in, now to our left.
We are V close to this thing. She is burning through.
And they're heading towards the cables.
Key thing is now what he does.
Morning, welcome.
Just make sure that speed stays at 10 knots.
HMS Northumberland is secretly tracking a Russian submarine as it heads towards the location of Britain's crucial communication cables in the Arctic.
It's now on my starboard quarter. Speed 6 knots.
The sonar team are monitoring the Russians' every move.
Now potentially just, what, 6,000 yards away.
Good, well done. Excellent.
It's looking good.
Machine rip down, machine rip down, machine rip down.
But there's a problem.
Machine rip down, machine rip down, machine rip down.
The sonar screens in the ops room have gone blank.
Got to try and understand what it is that's going on.
Without them, it's impossible to track the Russians.
We've lost our primary sensor, just completely failed, so effectively what's going on outside is not able to come inside. We won't have a hope in hell's chance unless that sonar's working. So it's here,
It looks like the sonar controls may have overheated.
So where's the bit you actually change it? One of these, is it?
Yeah.
They need to get them working again, quickly.
Very complex machine, which requires huge effort from a team to get it back up and running. The pressure's there, quite simply. The sonar needs to work.
Until they can get the sonar fixed, they have no idea what the Russians are up to.
If we can have good lookouts on the port side.
Their only choice until then is to keep a lookout in case the Russians come near the surface.
You're pretty much looking for a periscope, so more eyes the better. And especially with low light, we've got about 2 hours of daylight.
I just think it's highly unlikely that we'll actually be able to see it.
Check quarters.
We have a riser.
Olivia has spotted something. A shape in the water above the sea cables.
Quite a large contact appeared at 6 to 8 nautical miles.
Roughly on our starboard quarter.
We think the submarine has counter-periscope depth and periscope up. She's in that direction.
Oh, yeah.
It's a false alarm.
Good spot, Rich.
A pod of dolphins isn't what the crew were expecting.
It wasn't actually a submarine, but it's always important to make those calls. But it was quite funny.
It's been 20 minutes since the sonar breakdown. And the engineers are about to test their repair.
Your fingers crossed now, yeah?
Right. All right, let's get it on.
So we've changed that card out. Hopeful that that was the problem. Is that a normal picture there?
Initial signs are good.
Yeah.
Definitely getting an active picture back. Glory.
It works.
Thank Christ for that.
It's really nice to see it working. And we're back out in the fight. Yeah, I like it.
She's doing about the same course and speed as us. So we think she's relatively parallel to us.
It was.
Gone. Lost 2 poles.
The sonar might be working, but in the ops room, there's a new problem.
Contact lost by DMF. Last known bearing 028.1. Assess outside of 6,000 yards.
The Russians are now nowhere to be seen on their screens.
Opposition's PRO intentions is to conduct a bold alteration of course to starboard. We'll have a look around to see why we've lost it.
We've lost it, but we had it. There's 14,000 tons of Russian metal in the ocean. She's not about to teleport herself out of here.
With no sign of the Russians, the captain needs to rally his crew.
We know there's a submarine there. We know there's a submarine. It's not going to disappear just because you lose contact.
If Northumberland can't find the Russian submarine, there's no way to protect the Arctic cables, and the mission could fail. HMS Northumberland is 350 miles inside the Arctic Circle, on a mission to find one of Russia's most dangerous and elusive submarines. It's 7 a.m. For some, it's the end of their shift, but for others, the day is just beginning.
Got it all night, Rob.
Go to bed. Go to bed.
Clocking on is Lee Ellis, Northumberland's most experienced submarine hunter.
I joined very early at 16. All those years later, I'm still here. I reckon a lot of people look at me with 23, 24 years worth of knowledge already and probably already assume I'm a submarine expert, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be.
Okay, so guys,
look, I get your pain. You lost the submarine.
Lee's leading the search for the missing Russian sub.
it beat me, it beat the captain because we all lost it. ISS, she's trying to make life difficult for us. So mission focused, regain contact of the submarine.
Northumberland needs to locate the Russians before they have a chance to tamper with the deep sea cables that most of the UK's internet and communications rely on.
The Russians have a mission, they have a plan in areas which they know are going to receive a reaction. We simply cannot do nothing. We have to make sure we fully understand where the submarine is.
But this particular type of Russian sub is one of the most difficult in the world to find.
The Russians have significantly increased their capability in their submarine warfare. It's their priority, and it's because it's effective. Russian submarine can wreak havoc, and they know that.
It's been nearly 15 hours since the Russians disappeared, and with no idea which direction they've taken, Lee has a massive search area.
So 308, midships, starboard 15, 325.
Without any new leads, Northumberland is following the submarine's last known course.
Plot bridge, requesting wind speed and direction.
At the helm is 20-year-old Phoebe Stead,
Starboard 15, altering 240.
one of the youngest on board.
I drive a little Citroen C1, quite different from a warship. I don't need a big car. I'm not going to go any bigger than a warship. I joined the Navy for a challenge, something different.
I remember telling my parents. They were a little bit shocked, I think, and I don't know if they thought that I knew what I was letting myself in for.
SSE bridge. So starboard gas turbines that cover drive starboard shaft. It's not every day that you drive in a massive warship next to a Russian submarine nearby.
There is a massive sense of responsibility.
It's a little bit daunting.
But Phoebe's about to take on even more responsibility. She's just finished training up to join the team hunting subs in the ops room.
The thought of me tracking a submarine is, for me, extremely exciting. This is what Type 23 is meant to do, anti-submarine warfare.
Okay, you're going to be on time. 3 minutes left.
While the crew focus all their attention on the submarine hunt, it's business as usual below decks.
I think oil might need to be a little bit hotter.
Down in the galley, that means producing 3 meals a day for the crew of 200.
Let's go open there. I'll get you any poached eggs. Fried eggs. Have whatever you want.
So whilst it's a popular place to visit, it's not always the most popular place to work.
Yeah.
Trainee chef Sahil James is already feeling the strain.
This is my first ship, so this is my first deployment. I'm so tired, I'm knackered. I want to sleep. Just want to curl up in my bed like for 12 days. Just hibernate for 12 days.
No room for this meat.
Chefs work some of the longest hours on board in the hottest conditions.
Can you shove some dishes away if you don't mind?
This was not the deployment I was picturing, period. I'm feeling spudged better today.
Everything all right over there?
Yeah, I'm on the carrots.
Good.
Being at the bottom of the ladder
Jump on the sink, please, look.
means Sahil gets all the worst jobs.
There's gash outside. Please.
This is just like a stepping stone to me. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm just being optimistic about everything and just see how it goes.
No rest for the wicked?
Just like try and enjoy.
Come on.
When was the submarine's last position plotted?
In the ops room, the pressure is growing. It's now been 20 hours since the Russian sub was lost, and so far, all attempts to find it have failed.
Situation, we continue to the east-southeast to hopefully pick her up.
It's so strange. You can definitely smell something.
Now something else is disturbing the crew.
Think you smell burning? Yeah. Smells like burning.
Yeah.
Poisonous fumes are seeping into the upper decks, and no one knows where it's coming from. HMS Northumberland is at emergency stations. The hunt for the Russian sub is on hold, and poisonous fumes are filling the ship.
Where is it? Haven't got any locations on it.
They're investigating.
But something is clearly burnt. It's give off a really horrible taste and smell. Gets you after a while.
The crew need to find the source of the fumes, which are spreading through the ship via the ventilation system.
Smoke alarm has been activated in number 3.
Marcus Adcock needs to get up to the main mast, where the alarm's been triggered.
Who's going up there? Do your face seal check.
Absolutely horrible up there. A lot of smoke up there and you can't really breathe.
With all hands on deck, even Sahil is called up from the galley.
24 minutes.
No fire! There is smoke up there, but there's nothing on fire.
It's just absolutely melted.
The emergency's been caused by a faulty transformer. Now it's out, the fumes begin to clear.
Oh shit, mate. Those isolations.
But the electrics need to be made safe before it can be replaced.
So yeah, definitely circuits 2 and 7, mate. Yeah. Could be that as well. Yeah. Oh, what, sorry? What warning?
Whatever they've just isolated is taken out bridge.
What warning? On the bridge, sir?
What warning?
Autopilot.
I think they've pulled the wrong fucking circuit, haven't they?
power's been cut to nearly all of the bridge's navigation controls.
I think they've pulled the wrong one. Circuit if they fucking... So electrical supplies to the foremast have been isolated. Clearly we've lost a bit more than perhaps we'd imagine. Yeah, you are talking shit, mate. The other kit has come with it.
Marcus needs to get the power back fast. Northumberland can't stay at sea without navigation gear.
I need those circuits back, see if we can revert the circuits that we've lost to bring the nav kit back on the bridge.
Restart ventilation in zones 3 and 4.
With the fumes clearing,
No more smoke.
the crew can return to their regular jobs.
I was just washing the dishes, and then it went on. I was a bit nervous because it's not an exercise and it's actually a real thing, so I was kind of nervous, but after a while. Today it's a smoke alarm, it's tomorrow. Who knows?
Hello. Okay, well I want to just make sure we can restore that navigational sort of safety on the bridge. Yep, okay, stand by.
Okay, bridge team.
Oh, here we go.
Power to the bridge is finally restored.
Yeah, happy.
Yes, straight back in. Pretty much everything back on the bridge. Happy days, that's good.
Again, midship, stay 070.
Down in the ops room, there's been no sign of the Russian sub in nearly 24 hours. Lee is desperate for a fresh lead.
The last known position of the submarine, heading up there.
He's playing Northumberland's trump card.
I will feel more confident once I can get an air asset up. The Merlin will really nail it down to just try and regain contact with the submarine.
Northumberland is lucky to have a state-of-the-art Merlin helicopter on board. Its specialist crew are trained for hunts just like this. Flight observer Luke Maciejewski will be leading the search.
So when I get to 3, I hit verify. I want to go to 6, about 6 hours.
Luke and the flight crew are carrying listening devices to drop in the ocean. Sonar buoys will vastly increase the power of the ship's sonar. But there's only enough left on board for one flight.
Sonar buoys are a means to track over a larger search area. We drop these out of the aircraft in patterns or barriers, and as they fall from the aircraft, they have a parachute and they descend from the aircraft, hit the water, and they will actively listen for the submarine. We want 30 to the cab.
Let's go, go ahead.
Good start.
ACP will. Command intentions are for Red Claw to launch. The advantage of the helicopter is range, and the ability to get out at range at quick speeds, which make it very difficult for a submarine to evade once the helicopter's got it. Notoriously, submarines are not keen on helicopters being above them.
I'm coming.
Away from the action on deck, Marcus is on his way to make a special phone call.
Home have sent me that. Well, I'm hoping it's a box of my favourite. From Noah and the team at home, I've got strict instructions to not open it unless I FaceTime. I'll see if he's home, shall we? Hey, mate! Yeah? Well, do you want me to open it?
It'll be some weeks before Marcus sees his family again.
I'm gonna open it now. Yeah? I've got a 4 and a bit year old, married. I've got twins who will be 2 in March, and number 4 on the way. So, yeah, life's full on here, life's full on at home. My wife had to somehow look after 3 children on her own whilst moving house, buying a new car whilst, 7 months pregnant. And that takes a very special type of person. Wow! And I mean, to this day, I have absolutely no idea how she does it.
I'm gonna eat all.
You're gonna eat all of them, are you?
Yeah.
Whilst you're physically separated, there's always methods of communication, but it never gets any easier. But I do it almost primarily for the family, to provide for them. What's this?
You can eat them all by yourself.
That'll see me through the week. You do develop a mental resilience, but it does get a bit more difficult. For them and for us, really, yeah.
Turn right. I'd like to know where that front was.
The helicopter is now approaching the location where the Russian submarine was last detected.
Submarines, by the reason of their being, is to be stealthy. They're not meant to be found. They don't want to be found.
Transport in every minute for 6 minutes and every 3 minutes thereafter.
Luke must decide the best place to drop the first batch of sonar buoys in order to catch any sound from the Russian sub. With only 30 on board, he's under pressure to choose the right spot.
We've got buoys in ahead, we've got a barrier in ahead.
Reinitiate subsurface investigate.
The sound from the sonar buoys is being fed back to the ops room.
Subsurface investigate, nothing visual on the yard.
Where Phoebe is on shift.
We're doing 055.
Let's put it in.
Steady bearing rate.
Having never hunted for a submarine before.
First time I've done it for real. It's quite daunting, really, to think there's one quite, not close, but one nearby. So my part is to find them. You're listening for electrical sources or mechanical sources, or even people can give a position away. I don't mind if I find it first. It's as long as we find it.
Launch is about to turn towards where our submarine would be.
The Merlin is now directly above the spot where the Russians were last detected, but that was over 24 hours ago.
I'm going to drop down to 2,000 feet.
Anticipating contact fairly shortly.
Currently hold one tonal. Further investigation to follow.
It looks like there's something there.
They're investigating a possible 01 northeast.
You don't let me down.
HMS Northumberland is in the Arctic, on the trail of a Russian submarine that's one of the world's most elusive.
In position, north 63. My intention is to establish contact. We'll be in contact in the next 10 minutes.
The Merlin has begun tracking a possible object 100 metres beneath the surface.
Sounds good to me.
The contact is on a course of 113, speed 10 knots.
As the helicopter moves closer, the ops room are listening in, trying to figure out if this is the Russians.
She's increased in speed.
definitely changed depth and change. Yeah. Fair distance.
It's gone.
So it's turned, so it's gone.
Whatever it is, change direction too quickly to be a submarine.
How we doing?
No choice there.
The object was probably just marine life.
We've got a serious problem. The Merlin's dropped. AC, how many she's dropped? Well over 20 buoys now, isn't there?
They're about to run out of sonar buoys.
Just trying to come up with a plan to try and regain this submarine. The last known position is quite old now. It's quite difficult for the helicopter to search when the submarine, quite frankly, could be anywhere now within about 20 miles.
Oh dear. Sleeping out.
On the Merlin, Luke is also running out of ideas.
I am cold.
Intention to offer red call to continue tracking for as long as possible.
Oh, have monitored the last node tracking for the last 1 hour 40 minutes. We haven't had contact. We'll monitor for a bit longer, but we would have seen something. The only other option is to the southeast.
With so few sonar buoys left, the next search area will be their last roll of the dice.
So James, how are you? You got fried chicken on tonight? Yeah. I was going to say, I can smell it. Yeah. It does.
It's almost dinner time.
Right, I'll leave you to it. I'm looking forward to it.
And tonight's is special. For the very first time, Sahil is in charge of the galley.
These are the stuff that's going in the stir fry. So red cabbage, broccoli, and leeks.
He's chosen an ambitious selection of Asian dishes for the ship's 200 hungry sailors.
We have about 45 minutes. Pretty exciting to write up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 things on the board.
Weeks into his first deployment, Sahil's finding his feet. But cooking was never the job he had in mind.
I would have never expected to be a chef anytime in my career. Because like, before this, I've never really been in the kitchen much. I was going to join the policing force at home, and I said, why not try and join it in the Navy? But we weren't able to join at the moment, so you just have to adapt to and just like enjoy. 15 minutes before Spanish out.
With just a quarter of an hour to go and 4 dishes still to finish, Sahil is feeling the pressure.
Because this is when you're starting to rush to get everything out on the counter, make sure everything looks nice. And this is when I start to get nervous. Oh shit! And what? I'm listening. But look.
About 10 minutes, mate, okay?
Yeah. Put a bit of mixed herb in it, salt and pepper.
2 minutes left.
And that's it, ready to go. It is time to open.
Oh, it's good.
Sahil's first menu includes plenty of crew favourites, like sweet and sour pork, Chinese fried chicken, and sweet chili beef.
This curry.
It's not hot, it's just hot. When I watch people eating my food that I cooked, some of the ship's company comes and just say, oh yeah, nice food, chef. Feel good, knowing that you're making people happy. I feel a bit proud of myself that I can do that for 200 people.
Fuel. 20 minutes. Yeah, okay.
The Merlin is more than 30 miles north of the Russian submarine's last known location, and Luke is running out of new places to look.
Okay, so intention is to drop 4 buoys Once we drop this, the last boys, we drop them.
If they're going to find the Russians, it's now or never.
3, 2, 1. Now. Now. Now.
Helicopters dropped a row of boys down to the southeast.
Back in the ops room, all eyes are on the feed from the sonar boys.
In anti-submarine warfare, we are listening out for engines going round and round, propellers going round and round. If someone carelessly drops a hatch, that will produce a sharp spike of sound, which will also attract attention.
Right, thank you. Romeo, Red Claw is hot. Stand by.
In the Merlin, they're picking up a fresh lead.
Good timing that. Sub further investigation to follow.
Highest point contact is 09, lowest point contact is 95.
Only the ops room specialist team can ID what's on the feed.
Looks like it's gone high.
It's a high-pitched sound, which means it could be a submarine.
And it looks like it's going high again. I've just got to wait for the updates.
There as well.
And 181.6.
I think it's good news.
Get as close as I can.
Flash, riser bearing 210.
There's no doubt now.
Red Claw is hot on sub.
Visual the surface.
It is the Russians.
I have detected prob sub 7221.
It's rare enough to detect a Russian submarine on the sonar.
In contact. Speed 8 knots.
But almost unheard of to get eyes on from the surface.
So we've got it. Well done, bro.
The submarine is on the starboard quarter.
Look at that smile on his face.
Absolutely.
It's almost like we had some kind of fucking plan, eh?
Officer Watch P-Row, we are in a position to track the submarine.
After the 48-hour hunt, finding the Russian sub is cause for celebration. But now, to keep Britain's vital communications cable safe, Northumberland can't afford to be given the slip again.
There's always a temptation to get excited about this kind of stuff, but we've got days and days and days of this to be doing. We've got thousands of miles of ocean, so we need to not be overconfident, make sure that we think as hard and as far ahead enough as possible that we don't get surprised.
The truck is holding on 009.
Northumberland is firmly on the submarine's tail.
It's really steady, we're parallel and it's in front of us and we're just behind. Happy?
But it's the end of Phoebe's shift on the sonar.
We all worked really well, so I'm really proud of everyone. I'm really, yeah, I'm happy. I'm going straight to bed, have a shower, get to bed, and then back up in less than 6 hours. Let's hope it's still around, we can still track it.
There's a record.
It's been a very successful day for the crew of the Merlin. But Flight Observer Luke has another important job to attend to.
Yeah, I'm very excited. My wife's pregnant. It's being as you'd expect it to be, dealing with it on my own and on her own. It's a lot easier when you're just got your job to think about. But I can only imagine how hard it's been for my wife back home, doing what she's doing on her own, having moved house on her own as well. It's like herding cats.
He's been waiting for a free moment to break the news to his parents back home.
Hi, Mum. Hi, Dad. You're going to be grandparents. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cute on you.
I reckon it could be a boy. All right, lots of love, everyone. I'm going to go.
Morning.
So everything's settled down now. We're back into the position where I want to be, which is maintaining the mission of tracking the submarine.
Northumberland has been tailing the Russians all night, but the captain is about to try a new tactic.
We are closing the range on her.
006.7.
7,000. It should be closer than that.
He wants to close in on the sub to let the Russians know they've been found.
We are very close to the submarine. Well, probably parallel. If they were on the surface, we would definitely see faces.
At this distance, the Russians are bound to hear Northumberland and know they've been rumbled.
We're in a nice position now. Not going to force her into doing anything silly, so we'll just settle down, maintain the course and speed, and relax.
Time 2253, contact 6200, frequency steady, frequency shift low.
Okay. Shit. What the hell was that?
I've just saw it, yeah.
What happened?
Northumberland has been hit.
What the fuck have I just hit?
I'm increasing speed to 8 knots.
HMS Northumberland has just been hit.
What's happened?
The submarine altered course, and she didn't care.
She's actually at the array. The submarine crashed into our array.
The crew think the Russians turned sharply and collided with the ship's sonar array, which hangs beneath the hull.
See you there.
Submarine threat warning. Situation. An assessment is that submarine clipped our array.
Right, is there any indication we've got any defects, damage? The Russian submarine has conducted quite an aggressive move to starboard, come straight towards us. But all indications was she hit us. She knew where we were, she knew what course we were on. I'm just trying to think why she's done that.
The crew must decide if the move was deliberate. Northumberland could still be in danger.
She put bow directly to us, which means she was altering her course for a reason and attempted a very high revving at the same time as I could hear the submarine.
She hit us. I'm worried about the ship's safety.
She could have done it on purpose. If this was to happen again, how are we going to play it out next time?
If it came back and did it again, then it shows more intent.
If she's shaping up to hit us, absolutely.
The captain needs more information before deciding if he should retaliate.
It's hard to make the decision, isn't it?
The Russian Navy is incredibly astute. They can be extremely aggressive, and they know exactly what they want to achieve. We're going to give it a couple of minutes to see if she's trying to cut across my stern again, and then we'll see what we'll do next.
The submarine's doing more manoeuvring, and trying to establish what she's doing.
Everyone just take a big, deep breath.
She's drawing right.
Drawing right quickly now.
The submarine appears to be heading slowly east, away from Northumberland.
It's quite a large alteration of starboard.
She's known where we are. She's demonstrated that she's capable of finding us. I think she just got it a bit wrong.
Well, it's a miscalculation.
Yeah.
They miscalculated, silly manoeuvre. We did the right thing.
When you're working against an active enemy, you need to just draw breath, let things settle down. What you don't need to do is run around and start flapping.
That was nearly home time there.
The crew must settle down quickly, so Northumberland can still track the Russian submarine to protect the communications cables lying on the seabed.
Okay, so guys, reset back to normal. I want to get the array down to the best depth.
Prepare to stream the array. Oh, you sod.
We don't have the correct mode 2. There's no mode 2 shown at the moment.
Lost sonar contact.
The sonar screens have gone blank, and all trace of the Russian submarine has vanished.
Lost contact?
Yeah.
Getting big bearing errors. Over what range is that?
That was 6 miles away.
6 miles in an 8 degree area?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
They need to work out what's gone wrong.
The captain is waiting for a report as to how we can fix this. But unfortunately, at the moment, the weapon engineers don't know what the defect is.
Sorry, the picture now.
Yeah, once you work out where she is.
You think that's what the problem was?
Yeah.
The screen where we would normally be able to track a submarine, we're not able to do that.
It's bad news.
So, what's happening?
Did the reset?
Yeah.
No impact though to the active picture, so it's dull.
No, so we lost active receive.
Yeah. So we can make noise, we just can't see anything back through the array. Recommendation is we've gone as far as we can now.
The damage to the sonar is too severe to be mended at sea.
It's a alongside fix.
The mission's collapsing.
It is end of mission.
Okay.
The entire sonar needs to be replaced.
Just had a discussion with the captain. The way ahead requires some further investigation from shoreside. So intentions is to head south.
Northumberland must leave the Russian submarine and return to port for repairs. Another Royal Navy vessel will take over.
It is frustrating. It is not great news, and I go into Faslane hoping to fix it, not knowing how long that fix might take before I go out again. Deeply frustrating, but that's the way it goes at sea sometimes.
Northumberland must now leave the Arctic and head south through the North Atlantic, back to Scotland.
Oh, Sarge. Hello.
It's a bitter blow for the crew.
Morning.
But down in the galley, it's business as usual.
I've been up since 4 a.m.
Well, everybody else has tucked up comfortably in bed.
Sahil has just passed his probation and is now a fully fledged chef,
Thank you, though.
helping turn out 200 meals every shift without batting an eyelid.
I'm not the junior chef anymore. I've been doing more cooking than chopping fish. So that's a start. I feel really proud of myself for doing it because, it was hard.
It's not bad, that. Fully done at 9 o'clock.
I think I've grown into a salty sea dog now. Being on ship, it's something I want to enjoy.
It's just good.
You got bubbles? Ah, I've got them.
There's good news too for 20-year-old submarine hunter Phoebe Stead.
All done. Thank you.
She's been called to the captain's cabin.
Try and keep it clean. Perfect. Thanks, Lil. Oh, sorry.
Her contribution in the ops room has been noticed.
Great, Phoebe. Look at you.
I'm boiling in this already. I am proud to find a submarine, especially when you go through training, you've worked so hard. It's a massive achievement.
It's good, thank you.
So good, thank you, sir.
Please.
Thank you.
Sir, Phoebe Stead joined Northumberland in January of this year. Most recently in the ops room, she was noticed early on for her work ethic.
It's her first ever promotion, moving her up from the Navy's lowest rank.
Well done, Phoebe Stead. So, you have thoroughly impressed me. Hopefully this is the route to a bigger step for you. I expect you now to pass your knowledge and your ethos on to those people around you and below you in particular. You should be hugely proud of what you've achieved in 9 months. Are you?
Yeah, hugely proud, yeah.
Good. She has the indefinable quality which revolves around a desire to do better and know more. Then Wright Williams takes a photo for you so you can send it to Mum on WhatsApp. Brilliant. You can send it to your mum. She won't put it on Facebook. Carry on, please.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Phoebe Stead. Carry on.
Emotional. I didn't expect to be emotional. A little bit surprised what he said, but going on my parents now. I'm really happy. Yeah.
How are we doing, N2?
Midship stood 215.
Northumberland's journey back to port is nearly complete.
People go to work and sit in an office. Welcome to my office.
It's now a race to fix the broken sonar and get back to sea. Because the threat from Russia is far from over. HMS Northumberland is on one of her busiest ever deployments. Repairs to the sonar are now complete and the crew are preparing to head back out to sea.
I'm going to do some rounds.
There's been no chance for a day off, and today is no different. Northumberland is undergoing rigorous checks to make sure she's seaworthy.
Try not to find any leaks today.
Engineer Fiona Henderson, known on board as Hendo, is in charge of checking the engine room.
I'll be doing a watch today, just going around all the machinery spaces and all the different compartments and just making sure that everything's running smoothly.
The engine room on Northumberland is the size of a large sports hall, but every pipe and valve needs to be inspected before the ship can return to sea.
Before the Navy, I did blacksmithing for about 4 years, got a degree in it. Between me doing blacksmithing and the Navy, I think it was like 5 years where I was a bouncer and I did do security work, just making sure there was no fights, which there was occasionally quite a lot. And then I just decided, just wanted something a little bit more. The shaft's a little bit squeaky. Starboard side.
Hendo is concerned about a strange sound coming from one part of the engine.
It is quite a loud little noise.
Well, I'd like to find out where that squeak's coming from and make the squeak go away.
I'm going to go have another look.
Northumberland has 4 massive engines, and they all need a clean bill of health before the ship can leave port.
Is everyone here?
3 decks above the engine room, Captain Tom Hobbs has just received a call from Navy Command.
We've had some intelligence come in. There's a lot of Russian activity in the North Atlantic.
An unprecedented number of Russian warships and submarines have been spotted converging on an area 75 miles off the coast of Ireland. Northumberland has been ordered to investigate as soon as she's seaworthy.
Russian warships have all turned at much the same time, and we don't know why. This looks like an entirely coordinated process by Russia, and it is stretching the Royal Navy.
This sort of mass Russian presence so close to the UK hasn't been seen for nearly 25 years.
We need to understand what they're really up to and make sure we're fully prepared for what might happen. Thank you very much. Cheers, team. Russia wants to be a player, wants to be involved, wants to be feared in some ways. They have become more strident, more assertive, more willing to put more units out at the same time to demonstrate their ability to control or impose power upon another nation.
The captain needs to get Northumberland back to sea as quickly as possible.
Hey guys, you alright? I'm your Bish, nice to see you.
Northumberland has just taken on a new arrival.
Just working my way around the ship, trying to get her bearings a bit.
Will Sweeney is the new chaplain. Known to everyone as Bish, he's never been on a warship before.
It's exciting. It's really exciting. Sort of case of finding my cabin. Definitely trying to get our bearings where we are. So I think we came down this way. I think down here. And I've wanted to do this job for a long time. As a priest, what I absolutely love it is spending time with people and being there for people. It's got a fetching tiger print curtain.
With the ship close to full capacity, Will is sharing with 5 other men, and only the worst beds are still available.
My bunk, unfortunately, is right at the top. So far, with my my bunk buddies' kind permission, for me, it's a foot on there and then sort of jump in, grab a rail, roll, hope to God I stay in. So I've got a bar to stop me rolling out, and I have obviously got a belt to keep me tucked in at night.
The Bish will be responsible for the spiritual and mental well-being of all 200 crew.
Morning.
All right.
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Very well, thanks.
Excellent.
As well as a chance to meet his new congregation, today is Will's first introduction to life at sea.
This is my completely first time away. Don't know exactly where we're going to be going. It's really exciting. Morning, nice.
Yeah, Bish, well, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's starboard side, just by the filters.
Hendo has now identified the source of the engine problem.
Steering is obviously quite an important part of the ship. Unlike other machinery breakdowns that we have, for me, it can be quite a big deal.
The noise was coming from Northumberland's steering controls, but all that was needed was some engine grease, and Hendo can give the all clear.
Having a breakdown with the steering gear is quite a rare occurrence, so when it does happen, it's like, oh, you know, we need to look into that.
There's not a mouse now?
No, it's definitely not a mouse.
With the steering now greased, Northumberland is ready to leave port.
Are you happy to secure the sheet anchor?
Yeah, secure the sheet anchor.
Forecastle bridge. Secure the sheet anchor for speed.
The captain has set a course for the northwest coast of Ireland and the Russians.
Port 15, altering 325. Midship. Starboard 15.
82 metres, deeper than expected, safe.
We need to make sure that we understand what's happening in the North Atlantic and that everyone is behaving themselves.
The Russian Navy never ever do anything by accident. So what we need to do is get up there, find out what's happening and get involved.
If all goes to plan, Northumberland should reach the massing Russian Navy within 36 hours.
Starboard 50, steer 015.
HMS Northumberland is on her way to the North Atlantic, off the coast of Northern Ireland, to investigate a large gathering of Russian warships and submarines.
I'm a semi-professional ironer.
It's 6 p.m. and Lieutenant Commander Tony Kane is about to begin his 8-hour shift in the ops room.
So I was just turned 17 years old. We got marched into a room with 30 ironing boards, and there was a leading hand that showed us how to iron, which is quite handy because I've had to do it every day since.
069 at 27. 069 at 27.
So my work nickname is Guns. Unfortunately, it's not because the size of my biceps, it's to do with the equipment on board that essentially I'm the lead operator for.
As the ship's principal warfare officer, Tony's tracking the Russian vessels.
I'll just jump in.
Yeah.
Just say cheers.
Which are converging on an area less than 100 miles west of Northumberland's current position.
Just give us an Indivan navigation radar. So we've got course and speed. Without the radar, we're just a cruise ship. Only if those things work are we a warship. You just has to tack up on the bridge to listen to TG tack as well. So the guys now are just getting in the right positions, and what we'll do, we'll focus our efforts down that bearing using all the sensors we've got on board.
Tony's focusing the radar and long-range cameras in the direction of the Russians.
You want to call it on Charlie?
To try to figure out why Moscow is sending such a large number of ships so close to the UK.
You want to make sure that you get all the information you need. I wouldn't want to miss something and then be responsible for that.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Will, come on in.
Thank you.
Come on, I made you a cup of tea.
That is
Just
very
look.
kind. Thank you very much indeed.
Tea, white
Thank
man,
you.
I heard. Come and take a seat.
It's the captain's first meeting with the Bish, and he wants to discuss concerns about crew welfare.
So welcome to Northumberland.
Thank you for having me aboard.
This has been one of Northumberland's most demanding deployments.
What I will say about us, you will find us slightly frayed around the edges.
Okay.
There's just the usual run-of-the-mill 180 people in the space with all the life problems that come with that.
Yeah.
You will find, I imagine, lots of people who want to talk to you.
Yeah.
We've got quite a good team and they're quite close. Now, they might not be very open with you to start off with, but there will be a lot of people who will want to talk to you.
First time at sea, I think there'll be a little bit of a learning curve for me. I hope not to make too many mistakes.
No, you won't make mistakes, you'll just learn. And what I would commend to you is to get around the ship and break down barriers.
It's weeks since all members of the crew had a day off, known in the Navy as a run ashore.
Hey guys.
And with no chance of getting off the ship, the crew's morale is suffering.
Just a very swift visit, just to come and say hello, if you've not already seen me. What I'm not going to do as a Bish is knock on your door in an evening, because this is your home. But if at any point you invite me down, I won't say no. Not so you have to, but I'll always accept an invitation. But I just wanted to say, come and say hello, see how you guys are getting on. Had a good day. Ah, as good as that. God, fuck me, I'm going to have some work to do, aren't I? How's life in general at the minute? Is it all right, or is it... Yeah?
Best time of my lives.
Okay, and the real answer? Shit. I'm here until the end of deployment, so hopefully I'll get to know you all more. But yeah, you'll see me around. Okay, but good to meet you. Cool. Halfway, mate, all right? All right, mate. Okay. I think there's a lot of frustration. I've done a lot of walking, a lot of talks. I think not getting off is really hard, as you'd expect. Right, guys. People work really hard, and run ashores are the reward, and they don't get that. So it's a big ask, but they're doing well.
So do house of quarters. I think we've done too many. I think right now I'm more concerned about the cooking than the Russian.
In the galley, junior sailors Will Covington, Nathan Hollowell and Isaac Walsh are getting some time away from their day jobs in the ops room.
How do you want the carrots? You want to like slice?
Yeah, so we'll peel them, boil them, and then we can even chuck them in with pork.
They're taking part in one of the captain's new schemes to help boost the mood on his ship.
We have come up with a competition much like MasterChef, where each mess deck will put forward 3 willing volunteers, and they are cooking a 3-course meal for me and 5 guests.
We're at the 45-man mess. We're cooking for the captain. Yeah, then we'll get judged on our skills.
Everyone scores. I collate the scores, and then in the end, I will award a prize to the winning team.
The main thing is if one of us doesn't get injured, I'll be happy. That's the main thing.
I get stressed out easy. Yeah, I get so stressed out.
Will, Nathan and Isaac are the youngest team taking part. Their three-course menu begins with a starter of halloumi and parma ham
Not looking bad.
and slow-roasted pork for the main.
So that's the belly of pork and the apples cooking away. It's looking quite nice, it smells quite good.
But they're hoping their dessert will give them the edge.
So none of us have ever baked before, and we're going to try and make a rum cake.
We found out it's the captain's favourite.
Right, 3.4 ounces. That's not a lot, so is it?
We're struggling with Metro 2 Imperial. Recipes are just a guideline. Only the weak follow. Oh, that was an inspiration. Oh, wing it.
Yeah, we'll wing it.
Baking powder. Let's get the baking powder in. 1 teaspoon of salt. 8 tablespoons of unsalted soft butter. That's not a tablespoon.
What does it mean, milk?
That's a teaspoon.
John used to be...
Using a teaspoon.
Shit.
We've gone wrong already. Turn it around.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my god. Yeah, the cement's nearly done.
Shaz, you got any tips for getting out these lumps?
Yeah, whisk harder.
It's not just morale holding the ship together, it's Cov's cement, full of gritty flavour.
The cake mix isn't going to plan, but the young sailors hope a healthy dose of rum will save the day.
Yeah. If we get them drunk, they'll mark us higher. Oh, that's unreal. That smells beautiful. Caramelised as well.
After 3 hours of preparation, the dishes are finally coming together.
Oh, beautiful.
Even the rum cake.
That looks good, that.
Oh, spongy, not too dry.
Absolutely winged it to perfection.
Well, we need to get that up there ASAP.
Starters are going out. Hopefully, it all goes well.
What happened to Can you let them know that there's more gravy if they want? Laughing's a good sign, isn't it? Then laughing with enjoyment. Hopefully they get drunk and mark it up. You're trying to work out if we should applaud you.
Is cops? Well done. That was very nice. Thank you. Tom over said he would quite happily pay for that. So thank you very much. It was delicious.
Will, Ollie and Isaac have impressed, but they'll need to beat the more experienced senior rates, who are next up.
Well done, boys.
Oh god, I'm knackered.
Speeds up to 28 knots. Stand by for update to the command aim.
Ship is in ops control. Ops watch P-Book.
HMS Northumberland is now 13 miles off the coast of Northern Ireland. They're still more than 3 hours away from their destination, where Russian warships and submarines are gathering.
All positions, surface investigate, unknown contacts, 4738 bearing at 308.
But the radar has just picked something up, much closer by.
Coming in on radar. Right, any comms with her at all? No?
At the moment, no. Still trying.
So we've got course and speed.
Unknown contacts, 16 nautical miles.
They have no idea what it is. It's hiding its identity by shielding itself from Northumberland's sensors.
Right, get on the MCO's back, and if they have to shake someone, they're fucking shaking someone, okay? Stand by.
Their only hope of identifying the suspicious vessel is to get a team of people up on the bridge.
Air guns, you're right.
Set.
So what's happening?
It's the surface ship.
Whatever it is now less than 5 miles away and going to extreme lengths to stay undetected.
By international law, you should have lights on so that other ships can see you. We are struggling to find those lights in her, which indicates she's definitely playing silly buggers.
She's getting close to our waters.
So close to the British mainland, this kind of behaviour is serious cause for concern.
On 016.
Stay 190.
I can see the horizon, but I can't see her. I've got nothing. Oh, there she is. Got her. I think we're looking at a Russian intelligence ship. The Russian AGI.
Victor Leonov.
Boom. Found her.
The Viktor Leonov is one of Russia's most powerful spy ships.
She's only doing 4 knots.
It's a very strange speed.
We'll just follow her and we'll see what she does. She has a purpose and a job. That purpose and job could have an impact on the security of the UK.
Let's go for it then next time.
A few hours after spotting the spy ship, the captain has spoken to Navy Command about the sighting.
So we've had new tasking come in from our operational headquarters. We have unexpectedly been told we go where she goes, and where she goes we don't decide.
British intelligence is worried about what the Victor Leonov might be up to.
Victor Leonov is out of area of operations. It is likely conducting collapse.
Exactly.
And has ordered Northumberland to try and find out.
Thank you very much. Cheers, team.
Another Royal Navy vessel will focus on the Russian ships further along the coast.
Spying is the second oldest profession, and navies have always been a part of that. I think most people don't understand that most of the time there's a Russian warship around the UK. There's always a danger.
Northumberland must now stick to the Victor Leonov like glue.
All positions PO unknown 6762. The suspect vessel Victor Leonov.
HMS Northumberland is shadowing the Victor Leonov, a Russian spy ship that's lurking mysteriously off the coast of the UK.
4738 ties in signal and voice of Victor Leonov, drops signal and voice track.
The captain has just received new intelligence about what the Russians might be up to.
I got word from my superiors that there's a US submarine surfacing tonight.
On the draft, okay.
And they need us to be a barrier. They don't expect us to be able to. They don't expect the US submarine to want to talk to us. But the officers of the watch just need to be aware for amber flashing lights.
Yep.
We need to shadow and be prepared to barrier the Victor Leonov against the US submarine.
Speed, sir.
So they said go now, go quickly.
Navy Command suspects the Victor Leonov is in position to try to intercept a nearby American nuclear submarine on its way to the UK.
Right, I'll get a new set of dailies issued, but I'll get hold of the RPO now, sir. RPO dial 202.
Northumberland has been ordered to rendezvous with the sub and escort them safely past the Russians.
Hey, I've got a route plan.
Have you got a route for me, have you? I'm not quite sure where the American boat will be compared to where the Russians are.
The captain must get Northumberland in position in time to meet the American sub as it surfaces 40 miles away.
That's her current position there.
Okay, so she's there, is she?
And we can adapt the route as required.
Seems fine. It'll be interesting to see which way she goes. But she's not in a great place to hide. Cool, thank you very much.
Northumberland doesn't have long. The Americans will be in range of the Russian spy ship in less than 3 hours.
Afternoon, all right? Very well, thank you. Yourself?
It's the biggest day of the week for the Bish.
So today is our first Sunday church service, which is nice. So yeah, a few hymns and a sermon on exploring Christianity is a bit like internet dating.
He's hoping his first ever church service at sea will help to lift the crew's spirits.
I've had to blue tack my candles down just in case, but it's not as rough as I thought it would be.
And he's got a better turnout than expected.
I've only printed off an optimistic 10 orders of service, so you might have to share, which is a lovely thing to have. Lord Jesus, you come to gather the nations into the peace of your kingdom. Lord, have mercy.
Lord, have mercy.
Church can sometimes just be a break from the sort of general routines of day-to-day on board a ship. I love thee, Lord Jesus. Look down from the sky. There's no such thing as a weekend on board. It's constant, it's every day. So it's important to have something, and I think spirituality definitely plays a big role in that. And fit us for heaven to live with thee there. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Guys, please stay for a wet, have a bit of a chat, and there might be some cheeky chocky bickies out there as well. Short and sweet, and also good chance to get to know people a bit more as well. All right, how are you? Good, good. Who wants a tea? Tea? If I follow with milk, I'll be mother. Or is that all right? How much? Just a dash?
Attending church gives the crew an hour off from their duties. For many, it's the only one they'll get in a working week.
Can you even dunk a rich tea without it immediately disintegrating?
You go like that, you go.
Do I do weddings? Yeah, absolutely. What, do you want to crack one out now? Doing cheeky Sunday weddings? Oh, no, absolutely. I think I probably felt more nervous this morning standing up in front of 15 matlows than I have done standing up in front of 100 people at a service.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Good, glad you enjoyed it. But I think it went really well. Everyone was very kind in what they said. The feedback was positive, which is good. And it was exciting. Right, so I need to work out how to dismantle this. Right. It does. It folds down. I really enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next one. Cinco.
Okay, good morning, Northumberland. Welcome to the quarters brief for the operation we're about to conduct.
HMS Northumberland is now less than 5 miles from the American submarine, so a mission briefing has been called in the ops room.
Please remember operation security. What I'm about to say in this brief, what we're about to conduct in this operation must not leave HMS Northumberland. You must not tell friends and families. You must not tell any other oppos within the Navy.
The Americans are about to surface 9 miles off the coast of Northern Ireland. The Russian spy ship Viktor Leonov is lurking close by, in a position where they could gather intelligence on the US submarine.
So our current mission is to maintain continuous tracking of a submarine coming to UK waters. Doesn't take a genius to work out we're going to intercept each other shortly. Everything's now coming together where we can conduct the operation priority environment subsurface.
Northumberland's orders are to get in between the Americans and Russians to make sure the spy ship can't capture its most secret information, the submarine's sound.
When you're doing anti-submarine warfare on any side, the thing that you need to know the most is what the opponent sounds like. And if you know what the opponent sounds like, it's much easier to find them the second time. My mission is about protecting the submarine.
What they never want to do is be found by Russia.
Nada, nothing, out.
Shortly after sunset, Northumberland is in position, but so far, there's no sign of the Americans.
Midships, port 15.
I can see the horizon, but I can't see her. Oh, there she is. Got her.
Very good.
There's a single white light just tracking left to right slowly now.
The Americans have surfaced.
So we think she's going to head through the North Channel, do we?
Yeah, it looks like it.
And as their journey into port gets underway, Northumberland must keep the Russians at bay.
So we're currently holding Viktor Leonov on the command system to the northwest of our position. Intentions, if you're happy, sir, is to position ourselves to the east of the Viktor Leonov between her and territorial waters. Remain
2 miles-ish?
Yeah, 1.5 miles, 2 miles.
Get those engines loud, please. As loud as possible.
The captain has a trick up his sleeve to scupper any chance of the Russians listening in on the American sub.
RMR SCC. SCC.
It's really important that I put a lot of noise in the water to mask any kind of noise that's coming out of the American submarine to make sure the Russians can't capture it.
Ready to carry on, put in starboard side. Now all we need to do is hold this position, keep the Viktor Leonov away, and we'll be sorted. Happy?
Yes, sir.
You know where I am? Probably I will wake myself up.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
It will be several hours before the Americans are clear of the Russians. Until then, HMS Northumberland must remain on guard.
Got a mole on one side of my head.
Executive Officer Tim Langford is the ship's second in command. He's about to start his midnight shift, but first, he's tending to his appearance.
It's always risky for the XA to get his hair cut. You've got to get somebody you genuinely trust.
It is a position of power.
It is a position of power that you find yourself in.
My first role on board is to make sure that the ship's company is in good order. I need to do that to make sure that the ship is effective and therefore we're able to fulfill our primary function, which is to fight.
Very nice tonight.
We have rules, and we have rules for a reason, and it makes sure that we can fight when we need to.
You don't feel any pressure come my hair, do you?
Really?
The pressure's on me, not on him. I'm the one that's got to walk around on completion. So.
Happy?
Yes, well done you. Legend. You're a star. Cheers, thanks fella.
Happy.
Come on.
Give around some Peter Fish to carry on.
Yes please, thanks so much.
Tim checks in with the crew every night to make sure Northumberland is never less than shipshape.
Where's your vacuum cleaner?
What's going on here, Sandy?
This way?
And he's a stickler for detail.
Go and tell me what you think of the deck in there. And there's that. That's the third Met on the bounce now where I swear to God it's not been vacuumed. I mean, that's awkward. That's not going to work, is it? Let's take that out.
Tim's presence is also an opportunity for the crew to share their gripes about the lack of downtime.
Questions for me?
Is there a plan to what we're doing now?
I want to stand here and tell you how it's all great. I've got a cracking run ashore lined up for you. I've got none of that. We are just a small cog in this whole theatre. I know it's frustrating for us.
I worry about people, and I worry about whether or not going away on a deployment where we have not yet been able to get ashore. I worry what impact that has on people.
I'm with you. I mean, you can see on the outside a little bit of me smiling, trying to smile. I'm dying on the inside.
Decompression is really important. My fear is that it does have a long-term impact.
That's it. Cool. See you later.
Starboard 15, altering 240. Plot bridge, requesting wind speed and direction.
43, where is she? Oh yeah, seen. She being okay, is she?
Yes, it is.
As the day dawns, the captain is still keeping a close watch on the Russian spy ship.
Well, she's lining up to go into the TSS, isn't she?
Can you just confirm on chat they're listening on TG Rep?
In the ops room, the radar has spotted a sudden change in its behaviour.
The Victor Leonov has altered course. She's altered 180 degrees and now proceeding up to the northwest.
So where do you reckon they're off to now?
Probably back home to Russia or something.
With Northumberland's engines so loud, it's been impossible for the Russians to hear the American sub.
Phone calls have been made to the Maritime Operations Centre to let them move. They'll make their assessments and we'll get our orders through, expecting the next couple of hours.
Captain requested to take a telephone call in his cabin.
Yep,
Within minutes, there's a phone call from the captain of the American submarine.
Okay, mate. Yeah, that's great to hear. I'm really glad we could do that for you. No worries. Speak soon, bye.
With the Russians heading home, any threat is over.
Because the Russians never got close enough to the friendly submarine, it would mean that their signature, what they sound like, was not captured by the Russians.
After nearly 8 hours with the Russians close by, the Americans can continue their journey into port unimpeded.
He just wouldn't have wanted the Victor Leonov mucking around near him.
We'll crack on with the rest of our tasking now.
Oh, nice, chefs.
Start plating up the prawn cocktails. Once they're done, start thinking about the main.
In the galley, The final round of Northumberland's very own MasterChef competition is underway.
It's just going to be a little twist of salmon, just to dress on top.
Nice. All right, well, Fox, we have.
This time, it's senior rates Pete Garwood, Thomas Appleyard and Lenny Lynch.
How thin are you going to do it? The way that they filleted it, they've already put it into some thin slices. MasterChef, it's good because it's got everyone out of the mess, stop working, do something different for a couple of hours. We put in a little lemon wedge on the side of the crops. Do that towards the end.
It's a nice opportunity because obviously you're away for so long. There's certain things that you think about missing that you end up missing, and cooking's one of them for me. So.
On the menu this time is a starter of prawn cocktail and a roast pork belly main.
The guys are just about to cut the pork there, which is looking amazing. Pete, I reckon these are near enough there.
But they're pinning their hopes on a giant chicken bonbon.
I think the oil might need to be a little bit hotter. Do you reckon that's hot enough, Lee?
Yeah.
Chicken bonbon, deep fried. And that's going to be our game changer.
10-15 minutes in there.
Oh, they're looking good, aren't they?
They're fucking hot.
Mate, it tastes good.
It's a thumbs up from the team, but there's no word yet from the captain's table.
I'm happy, mate. I don't know what's time.
Good. So there's only stuff left over because there was so much. We physically couldn't finish.
Can't have you going hungry, so.
I know, but
that would be the worst thing.
So Chef Kate and I were both expecting small bonbons, and then this thing turned up. It was delicious. All of us really enjoyed it. So thank you very much. Well done.
You're welcome.
It's been scored. I'm the only person who knows the scores. So thank you very much, and thank you for all your hard work. Cheers, team.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Cheers. All over.
Wait and see.
So far, there's been a course that's always kind of dipped, and there's been a course that's always stood out. And this is the first meal where it has been a consistent standard. 9 plus 8 is 17, plus 8 is 25 and a half.
Hands to action stations, hands to action stations.
The senior rates are the clear winners, but suddenly the crew must deal with more urgent matters.
Russian Bear is inbound at red 160.
A huge Russian plane has been picked up by the radar.
Range 16 miles, height 31,000 feet.
It's a big ass aircraft.
And it's heading straight for the ship.
Hands to action stations, hands to action.
Russian Bear is inbound at red 160, range 16 miles, height 31,000 feet.
12 miles off the coast of Ireland, a giant Russian spy plane is heading straight for Northumberland.
3552, bearing 151 at 40 miles.
Are they conducting targeting runs on us?
We've got guys on the upper deck, the guns are ready to go.
All positions, check and safety.
If we assess that they are doing an aggressive act that we need to defend ourselves, we certainly could.
Starboard ASCG, bearing a green 90.
Roger, green 90. The Bear is obviously being told where we are.
The captain is trying to figure out what the Russians are up to.
So I've got a Russian maritime patrol aircraft astern of me.
Bear is at red 145 at 9 miles.
She's doing a course of 230. She's at 23,000 foot.
The spy plane is descending rapidly.
Passing 225, 10 degrees starboard wheel on.
Aircraft visual.
It's about to fly directly over the ship at less than 500 feet.
Aircraft visual, red 160, tracking left to right.
Green 175, 3.5 miles inbound.
Bloody hell. So now the Russian aircraft's flown past us.
It's a clear attempt to provoke Northumberland, just a few miles off the British mainland.
They've just proven their ability to operate in vicinity of what we would class to be UK sensitive waters.
But the crew haven't taken the bait.
Or is this a simple, singular demonstration of
this is what we can do, be warned, and we will do something in response. Don't know yet, don't know what, don't know where, don't know when, but we will do something in response.
There's a white helmet up there. Straight up.
I am hugely proud of what we achieved today.
Later that evening, the captain is holding a debrief.
Everyone just took what happened in their stride. That is a huge statement about the capability of ourselves and our team. Everything that has happened today has reinforced my fact that we are a good ships company who know what the fuck we're doing.
So close to home, this level of intimidation is almost unheard of.
The consistent theme is the fact that my people have responded brilliantly, and it just goes to show the extraordinary talent and dedication that we have amongst our sailors. So I am hugely, hugely proud of what you've achieved today. So well done, and pass that on, please. Any questions? Sweet, thank you very much.
We can ask the ship's company to react to the drill orders, parade and ship's company.
It's one of the military calendar's most important days.
The captain's going to do all the saluting on our behalf today, so nobody in here needs to salute. Sing or say the bits in bold, obviously, on your chits. Sing the songs for your heart.
Remembrance Sunday comes with a unique meaning for all members of the armed forces, but today has an extra special one for the captain.
So this is my grandfather's jumper. So it's probably 45 years old, 40 years old. He was in the Navy, and I have a whole host of his uniform, including his sword and his sword belt, which is in my cabin. He passed away earlier this year, so Remembrance Day will be about him, for me personally. Yeah, it is the first Remembrance Sunday not to have him here is. I didn't even cry at the funeral, fucking hell. But here I am.
Ship's company, probably at ease! Ship's company, home!
God, eyes, boom! God, stand up, east!
We remember with thanksgiving and sorrow those whose lives in world wars and conflicts, past and present, have been given and taken away.
They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
We choose to do this life. No one made us do this life. But it can ask a lot from you, and it can ask you to sacrifice. It's a part of being in the services, and it's a part of wearing a uniform. And as you understand that we have ultimate liability. You don't join up and not accept the fact that you might have to die to do this.
HMS Northumberland is 65 miles off the coast of Ireland.
Literally, get on your hands and knees, clean up deck edges.
It's been one of the ship's busiest ever deployments.
Do you want the next set in?
Yes,
Seniors.
Down in the galley, Captain Tom Hobbs is escaping the pressure of command.
That has got a kick. I would go for the Rogan Josh myself. A nice bit of garlic to kick it off.
He's lending a hand with the most popular menu of the week.
Ships have curries on different nights. We have it on a Wednesday night. We're doing korma, Rogan Josh, madras, bargees. It's one of the meals that we measure the week by. So fish and chips on Friday, steak on a Saturday, roast on a Sunday.
Curry night is one of the galley's busiest shifts, requiring special ingredients and hours of preparation.
Well, we're chefs. We're here to put out the best food possible, because if we don't put out good food, then everyone gets a bit grumpy.
How are we doing for bargees? Being a chef on a warship is unrelenting. Cooking all of it, nearly all from scratch. 600 meals a day, every day.
I think I'm going to get that no rest for the wicked tattooed next.
Where's your blue roll?
I'll get you that.
I'll do it. I'm entirely...
Pinching that job off me as well. Your own job.
Yep.
I've got nearly 200 people on board. And if I don't understand my people, if I don't look after them, I might as well not even go to sea. You have to be able to understand your people before you can do anything else. And if you look after your people, they will do great things.
Yeah.
Welcome anytime. Happy days. Right, cheers team, I'll see you around.
Oh, it's really hot. Yeah, I chose the world's hottest curry.
Come in, come in.
Back in his cabin, the captain has received new intelligence about Moscow's latest plan to put pressure on the Royal Navy.
There's been developments in 6 hours or so. There's a Russian destroyer coming down to the Irish Sea towards the UK, and we don't know why. Which is unsurprisingly raised some eyebrows.
This time, a Russian warship has been reported 75 miles off the Western Isles of Scotland. Its current course runs worryingly close to Faslane, the most secure military base in the UK and the home of Trident nuclear missiles.
This looks like an entirely coordinated process by Russia. The mission is about protecting the Trident nuclear missiles. What they're doing is unprecedented. The Cold War never really stopped at sea. We have certainly seen an increase in their activity, and they have become more strident, more assertive. Thus, what we need to do is to make sure that we work hard to defend our homeland. Thank you very much. Cheers, team.
Northumberland's now been ordered east to find the Russian warship and block its path before it gets too close to Faslane.
Make sure you've got enough layers on, 'cause it'll be quite cold up there.
Up on the flight deck, a new member of the crew is about to be put through her paces.
This is my first ship that I've been posted on with the Navy. So this is my first time being winged in a helicopter. It's actually my first flight in a helicopter at all.
Jen Robinson is taking over as the new ship's doctor and is now going to be suspended from a helicopter.
You wear this around your right-hand side, and should you get submerged, and that'll give you like up to 2 minutes of breathing there.
She's training to deal with medical emergencies at sea, whenever and wherever they happen.
As a doctor, it's important that I'm comfortable doing this. So that if the ship receives a distress call from another ship or a fishing vessel and they have someone who's injured on board, it means that the crew can take me onto the helicopter and I can be winched down to be able to provide emergency medical care.
Red Claw, Airborne Port. Update your runboard visual section.
Being a doctor on a warship will be a completely new challenge for Jen.
It's quite different to being a GP in that you're covering all the specialities, so it's like you're dealing with some emergency medicine, but obviously there's a lot more occupational hazards here than you generally have ashore. So there's lots of opportunities for people to hurt themselves.
Hopefully we won't have any casualties that we have to do this for in real life. A bit nerve-wracking. It would be nice to watch someone else go up first, I think. No volunteers.
Still awaiting our passengers. Brown, do you want to go down again?
Yeah, happy, mate, happy.
Hey.
Happy to go off comms.
They're putting them down.
Got a fuss up. There's a bit of pitch and roll.
Deck's all over the place.
If we have a catastrophic failure, I'll bring you back. Steady, you're in a good position.
Go for it now.
3, 2, 1. Back any two, back any two. Clear of the deck, go back and left, 7 o'clock. Good position. Good position. Raising the hoist.
If Jen does this again, it'll be for real, with a sick patient.
And now she's in the door. She's happy. Into her seat. That's her lap strap on.
That is UK. That is international waters.
HMS Northumberland is entering the Irish Sea, on the lookout for a Russian warship.
Can we see them?
Not yet, sir.
Still looking, nothing visual. No, nothing visual.
Down in the ops room, the team on the radar are also scouring for the Russians.
1 distance, 5 nautical miles. All ports on group by 2.
All positions PWO report suspect 2378.
They've spotted something.
All positions APSR investigate unknown 3552, bearing 151.
I'm associating Admiral Kulikov and ties in with intelligence picture.
It's the Vice Admiral Kulikov, one of Russia's most advanced warships. It's less than 10 miles away and still heading towards Faslane.
Okay, so let's have somebody closed off on the cameras now. We found her.
Kulikov on the horizon.
Northumberland must now try to stop the Russians getting any closer to the home of Britain's nuclear deterrent.
In a really good place to intercept it.
She's just there.
HMS Northumberland is on the tail of a Russian warship that's heading dangerously close to the home of Britain's nuclear Trident submarines.
It's quite a good-looking ship, actually. I've never been this close to this class of ship before. So I think the Russians call her an anti-submarine destroyer. Jane's warships has got every single navy and every single ship. There's the Kulikov, a large anti-submarine ship. Lots of missiles and guns, twice the size of me.
Just a few miles off the coast of Scotland, it's extremely rare for a Russian warship to get this near to Faslane. The Kulikov is one of Moscow's most advanced, capable of scanning the area for British nuclear secrets.
What's she doing now?
So she's just made an alteration of course.
Okay, can we follow her around?
Altering 200.
They will take as much as they can until someone draws a line and forces them to stop. So here I am drawing a line saying that you don't get to be near the UK without being followed.
All positions P will have 1 down that bearing, continue to investigate.
They're operating in areas where our submarines would normally operate, so if they got too close, we would have to certainly start with the verbal warnings to tell them essentially keep away. She's going to wheel over about there. That'll be her nav track.
The captain needs to find a way to stop the Kulikov in its tracks.
Range 3 miles.
Yeah, intent now is we're going to close up to about a mile. Can we close at maximum 4, please?
He's decided to speed up
After much PWO increase 20 knots.
and sail straight for them.
The message that the Russians are getting back in their fleet headquarters will be, doesn't matter where you go, the Royal Navy will meet you at sea and stay there with you. So if you don't tell them to stop, they'll keep on going.
Do you want to have a look through that now?
Yeah, that would be great, actually.
Having completed helicopter training, Northumberland's new doctor Jen Robinson is in more familiar territory, down in sickbay.
It's going
pretty well. I feel like I'm settling into things now and sort of figuring out what my daily routine looks like. One thing I just wanted to check actually, with the meds we've got in here for MIPS, are they duplicated over here? This is the first time that I've been on this type of ship, so where everything's stored and exactly what equipment we've got kind of like varies from place to place. So it's just kind of getting to the grips of that whilst I've still got Dave here to ask all the questions.
The lidocaines up there and in the fridge as well if you need it.
Jen is taking over from the old ship's doctor, Dave Ochiltree, although she only qualified a few months ago.
Quite junior. I'm used to working in an environment where we've got lots of other doctors, nurses and consultants around to be able to ask for help, whereas when you're out at sea, I'm the only doctor on this ship.
Make sure nothing goes missing. But 50-50, if you do ever need anything in there, that should be more than enough to keep you going for a few hours.
Okay. You're also on call 24 hours, so someone could come wake me up at any time for anything. So, yeah, I've always got to have my clothes laid out ready to throw straight on if that happens. You never know when an emergency is going to happen.
Airport 225. Don't close them any closer than 1 mile.
HMS Northumberland is almost on top of the Russians.
AC copy.
For safety, the captain should keep well away from other ships. But this close to Faslane, normal rules don't apply.
They're now at 1 mile.
So I want to stay here as long as possible. I want to leave here the last safe moment.
With Northumberland uncomfortably close, all eyes are on the Kulikov.
It's Warship 66. Keep safe distance no less than 2 nautical miles. Over.
The captain of the Kulikov is making contact.
Russian warship, this is British warship at Foxtrot 23, over.
Foxtrot 238, keep safe distance no less than 2 nautical miles from my ship. Over.
Just 18 miles from the UK mainland, the Russians are telling Northumberland to back off.
Warship 66, this is British warship Foxtrot 238, that is understood. So it's my intention to maintain safer and professional distance from you.
Roger, over.
Be aware, Captain. Yeah, I've just had a conversation with Vice Admiral Kulikov over VHF channel 16. He asked me to maintain at least 2 nautical miles. I responded and said I will conduct myself in a safe and professional manner.
East 15.
For the moment, Northumberland is retreating.
Take the ship in hand, get 225. Check quarters. Altering 100, got it correct.
But she's now in the perfect place to protect Britain's nuclear submarine base.
We've got the ship in a good position and we're effectively blocking the Kulikov so they can't get any closer to Faslane. But there's now an opportunity to see what they're really up to.
The captain's agreed to keep his ship well away from the Russians, but he made no promises about the Merlin helicopter.
Action Merlin, action Merlin.
Flight observer Luke Maciejewski has been flying for nearly 10 years and is an expert in military reconnaissance.
The Merlin is one of the primary sensors for our mission. It's an asset where we can leave the ship and in doing so obtain intelligence.
This is Luke's first chance to get up close to one of Moscow's most dangerous destroyers.
Well, it's important to understand the capabilities of the enemy so that, God forbid, we do go to war, then we have all the information we have to be able to fight effectively. Because quite simply, if we don't know anything about the enemy, then it's too late.
Right, let's get last and close to the Kulikov, please.
During the imagery you collect, we're content to use the transmit on at 997.
With its state-of-the-art cameras and sensors, the Merlin is Northumberland's best chance of uncovering what the Kulikov is up to on Faslane's doorstep.
Take a seat, fill in the paperwork.
Down on 2 deck, Executive Warrant Officer Darren Wallington is tackling recent orders from Navy Command.
We are carrying out COVID testing of the 100% of the ship's company. We're quite ahead of schedule. We got most of the junior 8s through this morning, but we weren't supposed to be doing the officers till about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Royal Navy warships must now test their crews for coronavirus on a regular basis.
Go in and get some paperwork, then the medical team will take over.
That's complete.
Well, that's quite deep. There's still quite a few to come through yet. Obviously, people on watch or who were off this morning that we've got to get through on the missed musters.
I am the senior non-commissioned officer on board. It's a very privileged role. I'm sort of the focal point for welfare. 34 years in the Navy, I'm the one who should be able to know how we can sort all kinds of issues, and that's what they rely on me for.
Officers. Can make sure you do your hands, please, sirs. My holy kins. Cheers, buddy.
Once today's tests are completed, the swabs will be flown back to the British mainland.
We'll be landing them on the helo either this afternoon, but probably more likely tomorrow. They'll be picked up there and they've got to be taken, I think it's to Salisbury, to the defence lab, to be tested, hopefully within 72 hours.
All done? Yep, do you need that? I take everything.
So far, the ship is COVID-free, but the lack of space and ventilation on board provide the perfect conditions for the virus to spread.
That's why these ones are there.
What speed do you got there, tractor? 11 knots. 11 knots, fantastic.
Alright, this is it, fellas, we're in position now.
200 metres above the Kulakov, the Merlin's crew want to find out everything they can about its weapons systems.
Here's my spells.
Yep. If we open the door now, we can start getting lenses focus and stuff.
When you're ready.
Right, okay.
Right, Admiral Kulakov.
Definitely a Uloy 1 with the double gun. Red deck. She's looking a bit orange.
Been out for a while. 166 days now. There's nice zoom-in shots on any aerials, radar, zones, all the good stuff.
Let's have a look on IR.
Luke hopes the infrared camera will provide clues about what the Kulakov's up to, this close to the UK mainland.
There we go, we're looking at. Well, that's quite a good IR image. Oh, okay, so let's have a quick look at personnel on the bridge wings then.
Oh, look at that, yeah, one person on the bridge. Wait. There is.
Like, oh, that guy there.
Yep.
Visual. Another individual on the starboard bridge wing.
2 of them.
Luke's picking up some interesting activity on the deck.
That black spot on the IR.
You can see warm objects being thrown over the side.
Oh yeah, visual.
The Russian crew are putting a number of heat-emitting objects into the water.
Please tell me you've got that shot.
Yeah. Whatever it is, now the back is there.
It's not clear what the Russians are dropping overboard, but with the Trident nuclear submarine base just a few miles away, they need to get these pictures straight back to the ship.
Let's go south.
HMS Northumberland's Merlin helicopter has uncovered fresh intelligence about Russian activity close to the UK.
Really distinctive, that red deck. All of that camera imagery has been downloaded, and we're just looking through it and putting it together. Everything in black is an infrared signature. It's actually quite warm, so these are members of the Kulakov's ship's company. There we go, so it builds. There we go, and there's one over the side there.
A large number of mysterious objects have been dropped into the water by the Russian crew.
This guy here was a bridge lookout.
One on the other side as well.
Watch them hand them between each other.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's probably one up there as well. 8. There's about 15 that got thrown over.
Luke suspects they could be devices for listening in on Britain's nuclear subs, so needs to alert Navy Command.
We can package that all up and send it off to Defence Intelligence, and we'll see what we get back from it. But ultimately, we saw some objects being thrown. We don't know. What we do know is it was thrown about 18 miles away from UK mainland. Promise. Thanks, mate.
£10.30, please.
Thank you very much.
Down on 2 deck, the ship's only shop is open for business.
Thank you. This is the Navy canteen. We supply basically whatever the Navy guys want, the chocolate, crisps, drink, toiletries, keeps them happy. Gives them a little perk and then go away and have a little break somewhere.
The NAFI is one of the more popular areas of the ship, but is only open for a few hours a day.
You know, the food's very good on board, but it's still like there's snacks in between long hours overnight. 90 pennies, please. Thank you very much. We carry some general medicines. So they got a headache or they want a quick flu remedy, like a cold, they come and buy.
In the last 24 hours, these medicines have suddenly become popular.
Everyone's getting colds at the moment, so sales are going up a little bit. But hopefully they'll all feel better very soon. Have a good day.
Chocolate raisins. Hi guys.
That's it. No, sir.
News about an outbreak of colds and flus on board has just reached EWO Darren, and he's come to check up down on the mess decks.
How was it in here?
A lot of people are ill.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're the worst effective mess if we're talking releases, I think.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, mine's quite bad. I've had a flu jab, all right?
Definitely not flu then. Fall over.
How you doing lurgy-wise down here?
Some of us are struggling.
A few.
About 20 odd people, I think.
This man looks like he might be suffering from the ship virus. I feel myself getting worse every minute as well.
Alright, shall we?
Okay.
Oh, I don't think it's so much a virus, just a bit of a cold. Problem is, tin box miles from anywhere, particularly when we're shut up like this. So there's not a lot of fresh air. There's people in the mess decks all the time. People's immunity, they just kind of become a little bit more susceptible, which is why a cold can get round the way it's got round.
How are we all? I've lost my sense of smell, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's probably a good thing down here.
Over 210 at 10.
The Russian Kulikov's path is still being blocked by Northumberland.
I'll swatch people. Situation that we continue to escort the Admiral Kulikov, which is currently 2 miles on our starboard beam.
With concerns about its mission now growing, the Ministry of Defence has been alerted.
AC people, that is stage 2 complete.
Whitehall is calling in backup to end the deadlock.
That's someone with the defence finally shook the RAF and kicked them out of their 5-star hotel. 2 times RAF, fast jets, typhoons, and the Russian warship within the next 10 minutes. That is all.
The RAF has scrambled 2 jets from their base, 200 miles away.
Two RAF Typhoons to the south and southwest.
Aircraft visual, red 160, tracking left to right.
Oh yeah, you can see him now. Where? Step was port 225, quick step nautical miles, time on.
Height 360 feet.
That's low.
But the Russians are shitting all times.
The RAF jets are circling the Kulikov, trying to get them to back off and move away from the UK.
Part of the defence is showing people what we can do. So you're in our backyard and this is what we bring to play. And I'm not just dealing with a squadron of RAF Typhoons, they're dealing with the UK, and this is what the UK can do.
Right now in the Thames.
The show of strength is coming to an end. The jets need to refuel.
Typhoons now 2.5 miles and are outbound.
I I imagine that was unexpected. They came in less than 10 minutes, which would be far inside of any kind of warning he would have received from his homeland.
As the jets head home, there's news from Navy Command.
Got 103 at 15 nautical miles.
Northumberland has been told to head north. Their face-off with the Kulikov is at an end. Another Royal Navy vessel will take Northumberland's place as she sets a new course for Norway.
Holy fuck.
The captain has received an update from the ship's doctor.
Good evening, Northumberland Commanding Officer. We have COVID on board our ship.
What?
We know people have been ill, and lots of people have it. In terms of things that we can do, social distancing fundamentally doesn't work. Putting a mask on doesn't work. You'd have to take your mask off to sleep, and we keep on breathing the same air. However, there is probably value in us upping our cleaning routines. Fundamentally, we need to look after one another, and for the duration of us remaining at sea, we need to keep on doing that. There are now probably millions of questions running around your head about what happens next. What does this mean for all of us? I will give you the answers as quickly and as honestly as I can. That is all.
That's a bit of a joke. It's killing folk, and we're just like, yeah, you've got it.
I've not told my wife yet. Not until we know more. It's going to be quite difficult for everyone.
I can control how I look after my people. I can control what we do inside the ship. So I'll control those things. Some small bugger of a virus, I don't get to control that. So this is going to be really quite hard work. We just need to keep on looking after one another.
Working and sleeping at such close quarters, it's impossible to socially distance or wear a mask all the time.
How many cases does it look like we've got on board at the moment?
Around 25. We've had quite a few people presenting with loss of taste and smell.
Not long after taking over as the new doctor, Jen has sick crew members queuing up.
So are we mustering the ones that are in the front compartment and the ones that are people presenting with symptoms requesting paracetamol and other painkillers? But I think that there's quite a few people who haven't presented to sickbay who've got symptoms. So I think the actual number in reality is probably significantly higher than that. So at the moment we're trying to get an idea of what the big picture is, try and get around the whole ship's company and find out how many people have had symptoms, have ongoing symptoms.
We're cleaning and establishing 2-metre boundaries outside the mess. It's our grand plan to keep the people safe.
With just one shared air supply throughout the whole ship, there's little more the crew can do to protect themselves.
Everyone's just going to muck in as much as possible to clean as much as possible.
No matter how much you clean, we're still all breathing in the same air. I'm still having 2 people sleep on top of me in the same mess with 26 girls, so there's only so much you can do, really.
Northumberland is now 175 miles off the coast of Norway.
We just need to figure out the worst case scenario.
In sickbay, Dr. Jen has barely slept.
Been up since 4 o'clock with a poorly patient. Most people who've had symptoms have felt pretty rotten, but haven't had any kind of like alarming features, whereas the patient was a lot more unwell.
The condition of a young member of the engineering team is showing no signs of improvement.
I think he's been pretty unwell for the last hour and a half, 2 hours. And we're particularly concerned about his ability to breathe at the moment.
My biggest concern is work out how best to medevac him back to the mainland.
With no ventilators on board, the crew need a plan in case he deteriorates. But Northumberland's Merlin helicopter has been grounded.
The reason I'm not using my helicopter is my flight crew have been exposed to COVID, and thus there's an unknown impact upon their ability to fly.
Northumberland must find a new way to get the sick engineer ashore, fast.
We just need to all draw breath.
A patient seriously ill with COVID needs to be taken to hospital, but Northumberland's helicopter has been grounded.
People woke up to call hands as usual, but immediately followed by the ops officer telling them that we had to casually evacuate someone. They don't need to know who it is, although I imagine that name will get around the ship. I have no doubt that this will confirm in some people's minds the worst fear, that their worst fear is perhaps realistic, and it has become realistic, and thus are a bit concerned. He's ill.
People scared?
Yeah.
It's vital they find a way to get the sick man off the ship.
So we're coming up with a contingency plan now.
Navigator Ryan Woodridge needs to solve the problem.
We had an initial plan to go into Norway, but it's looking like Norway, a civilian port, is unlikely to accept us in if we've got confirmed COVID case and through the risk of transmission ashore. And there's no way to change that. So that's a real worry.
The next best option is to turn the ship around and head back towards the UK.
It's 2 meter room, mate.
Ah, sir.
Hello.
Sorry about your wait.
What time's this? Lovely.
Look.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Down on 3 deck, Executive Warrant Officer Darren should be helping to manage the health crisis.
Day 3 in the small brother house. See it?
But as the oldest member of the crew, he's been ordered to shield in his cabin, which is about the size of a garden shed.
Yeah, the room service is nice, yeah, but especially with what's going on, my job, I should be the one out walking around, you know, checking everybody else is all right, helping make the important decisions, but at the moment I'm just stuck down here. I'm literally sleeping, eating, living down here 24/7. Can't get out, can't go anywhere. Absolutely gutted. It's my last deployment, last hurrah. Not exactly the band playing and speeches I was expecting on the last one. This is the worst that comes out of COVID for me and my family. Do you know what? I'll take that. There's people that have had a lot worse, and probably still will.
HMS Northumberland has raced 150 miles south and is now in range of the British mainland.
We have requested for a search and rescue helicopter to come from shore to us. Rescue 163 will be with us at 0805. Captain.
Got visual on the aircraft.
Thank you. I'm about to land an unknown helicopter with 2 unknown crew on the back of my ship, which is a fairly risky operation at the best of times.
The civilian pilot has never landed on the moving deck of a warship before.
Visual on the flight deck cameras.
But the COVID patient emergency leaves no other option.
So what they might do is come in and then just wait for the ship to judge that movement of pitch and roll.
What's our pitch and roll, please?
0 pitch, 1 degree roll.
Can you pass that no pitch, 1 degree roll? Evacuating someone in this sense with a Coast Guard helicopter landing on the deck is extraordinarily rare. I would be surprised if I ever do it again whilst I'm in command.
So if they are holding there for a little longer than normal. Aircraft over the flight deck. Aircraft descending. Aircraft landed on deck. Personnel returning back to the aircraft.
The casualty is able to walk to the helicopter.
FDO captain, stand by for them to launch.
He'll be in a British A&E within the hour.
Well done, team. Rescue 163, Warship Northumberland, many thanks for your urgency and speed today. Safe flight. Over. Roger, Warship Northumberland chopping 16 out. Our casualty has been taken by HM Coast Guard and he'll be landed into a hospital. So he's going to get the best possible care that he needs shoreside. So we have done everything we needed to do and could do, and then we got him off.
With over half the crew now sick, the captain has also started showing COVID symptoms. The heads of department are meeting to discuss if Northumberland can remain at sea.
We're not going to stop this going through the ship. It is absolutely through the ship. But what we've identified, there are certain people who we need to keep reasonably safe from illness, not least because only the captain and ops can put this ship alongside, because we need engines, we need officers watch on the bridge, we need other watch keepers. So we're trying to minimise movement, minimise that transmission, slow it down, all right? We have a number of people who are critical to safety on board. So that's from the captain down to people like the marine engineering officer, those who go and watch and make sure that the ship is safe at all times. The reality is there's not a lot we can do, but if we can bed people down and make sure that that movement is minimised and so protect as many people as possible.
Northumberland, this is the Officer Watch. With the current COVID on board, ship's company is reminded to avoid traversing around the ship, especially if you are symptomatic. Where possible, remain within your mess decks or cabins. Stay safe. That is all.
In spite of their best efforts to keep Northumberland at sea, Navy Command is stepping in.
My operational command has made the decision that actually the best thing we could do for everyone was to return home. To allow those people who were feeling horrible, and I was one of them, just to allow people to relax and let their bodies fight through a pretty grotty infection.
We have finished our ops tasking. As such, we have been released to return back home and to deal with the illness that's going around our ship. What going back home looks like, what quarantine looks like, needs to be played out. Our tasking is finished, but there's lots of questions yet to be answered.
That is it.
The captain has been told to set a course for home. Northumberland's deployment, cut short by over a month, is all but over.
I have never done 3 months like this in my naval career.
Hands to action stations, hands to action stations.
I have had so many challenges come in such quick succession.
Absolutely horrible up there.
That is massive. That is huge. It's the shortest deployment I've had, but I've had to really work hard for this one. The submarine crashed into our array.
These 3 unforgettable months have tested every member of Northumberland's crew.
It takes more than one person to fight a fire. It takes more than one person to deal with a steering gear breakdown. And it takes more than one person to find a submarine.
I have detected prop sub 7221. So we've got it.
Everyone wants to be in that operational moment. You want to be, where it's really crunchy and really exciting.
It's all a learning process in the Navy.
Oh shit! I think I've grown into a salty sea dog now.
My time on board has absolutely confirmed I want to be at sea. Amazing. Absolutely stunning.
I quite look forward to not being stuck on 133 metres of a tin can. I want to go home. I miss my wife and kids, but I will soon get itchy feet about wanting to go back to sea.